Now talk of the U.S. entering the fray.
Over recent months, there have been a series of maritime confrontations between the Philippines and China. Washington and Manila are allies, and the U.S. Admiral Samuel Paparo said it would be entirely reasonable for American naval vessels to escort Philippine boats. So far, Manila has refused U.S. assistance, rightly sensing that to involve America would be an escalation. And if Beijing continues trying to block Philippine operations in the South China Sea, Manila might be tempted to agree to U.S. offers of help.
The BBC's Michael Bristow. House Speaker Mike Johnson says the world hasn't faced this level of threat since the 40s. He's placing much of the blame for that on the Biden-Harris administration.
President Biden went to California for a little less than a week after his speech at the Democratic National Convention, and he is spending the next week in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, according to the White House. Speaker Johnson contended that Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, who's running for president, have, quote, no shame for their lack of leadership while in office. Johnson also issued a warning against Harris's presidential bid, arguing that the United States' adversaries fear her less than they fear Biden. He referenced the growing number of wars that have happened under Biden's watch and said his leadership has created, quote, the most dangerous time since World War II. In a Fox News interview, Johnson said, quote, you've got to have Donald Trump in the White House. He is the one that they fear and respect. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
Ketchikan, Alaska, on the alert for the possibility of another landslide after Sunday's rock and mud fall that left one person dead, 3 injured. A dangerous heat wave is expanding. It's spreading from the plains in the Midwest into the east. Watching Wall Street, Dow futures down 115. NASDAQ futures 81 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, this is Eric, the CEO of Ultimate Tax Group. With my 2 decades of experience, I have helped thousands of hardworking American taxpayers like yourself. If you owe back taxes to the IRS or state or have any unfiled tax returns, personal or business, never give up. My team and I want to help you take your freedom back today. Call Ultimate Tax Group at 888-505-1099. Speak with me, Eric, or one of my associates. My team has over 75 years of experience in understanding the tax laws and tax resolution programs. We will dissect your case and map out a successful strategy. You have rights as a taxpayer. We can stop any aggressive actions. We care and fight for our clients. Call Ultimate Tax Group at 888-505-1099, 888-505-1099.
Russian drones and missiles hit Ukraine overnight, leaving at least 5 people dead.
Rescue workers pull a person out of debris in Kryvyi. The Ukrainian State Emergency Service says a rocket hit a hotel around midnight, partially destroying the 4-story building in the city in central Ukraine. In the Kyiv region, which has struggled with blackouts after Monday's onslaught, 5 air alerts were called during the night. The regional administration said air defences destroyed all the drones and missiles, but that falling debris had set off forest fires. Zelensky says the attacks included over 80 drones, and that, as well as the deaths, at least 16 people were injured. I'm Charles Dulatasma.
The chief of Ukraine's army says his troops now control nearly 500 square miles of Russia's Kursk region. Ukrainian troops crossed the border into Russia earlier this month, apparently catching Russian forces off guard. News and analysis at townhall.com. The nonprofit arm of the National Park Service will be getting $100 million from the Indianapolis-based Lilly Endowment.
The nonprofit, chartered by Congress in 1967, says it's the largest ever grant for national parks and will be used to address the needs of more than 400 national park sites in the U.S. CEO Will Shafroth says they hope to announce the first round of grants from the donation later this year. High on their priority list, restoring coral reefs at Biscayne National Park in Florida, where partners are studying ways to fight damage from vessel groundings, human debris, coral bleaching, invasive lionfish, and stony coral tissue loss disease, which can actually be treated with antibiotics. Researchers are gathering and raising thousands of baby coral to repopulate the struggling reef. I'm Jennifer King.
3 tropical cyclones swirling over the Pacific, including a storm that blasted Hawaii's Big Island with torrential rains and high winds, knocking out power and disrupting transportation. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody. By the way, the thing you heard and saw last night?
Falling sky water?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what is that?
All that rain. We got some last night.
Ra'in?
Yeah.
Ra'in. It's a strange new thing I've never experienced before.
I believe it is a term from the Aztecs. But anyway, yeah, we got rain last night. And
yeah.
It rained a hunk of last night.
It was a good chunk. Yeah, I got up to go to the restroom, and I remember hearing the pitter patter of raindrops on the rooftop.
Like all night. Like I remember that was like all night last night.
Raindrops, drop tops. For a while, it rained nonstop.
That's right. Hop on top.
Mm-hmm.
One fish, two fish, red fish, two fish. But anyway, I didn't sleep well last night, so I remember at like 10:30 hearing rain, at like 12:30 hearing rain, at like 2:30 hearing rain, and maybe even as late as like 3:30, 4 o'clock even, some rain too. I thought I heard a little.
I was weirdly up and down a lot too last night. Like I couldn't get into a good REM sleep mode.
Yeah, but we got rain and allegedly more coming this week.
Allegedly.
But happy Tuesday, the day we got rain.
Cooled it down quite a little bit. It was a nice morning. Although, I had to deal with an interesting problem I haven't had to deal with in quite some time.
No?
Because of the warmth, including overnights, it's been 70, 73 degrees. I've been leaving my windows in my car cracked just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let some air in to kind of vent it a bit.
Sure.
Well, that's a mistake when it's stupid humid and raining outside, because not only does the front side of your windshield fog over, the inside of my windshield fogged over. So I had to do that thing where I'm like looking for anything that's cloth. I think I ended up using like the sleeve of my hoodie to like wipe my windshield as I'm driving to try to
You need a squeegee for inside and out.
The inner squeege. But yeah, I'm here. I'm alive.
All right.
I made it.
What if you just opened all the windows and drove forward and backwards?
Really
fast.
What you have to do to get to really clear out is roll all your windows, as many of your windows down as you're comfortable with, and then just let air hit it.
Yeah.
Once that'll dry it out. But it's annoying for the first, 5 or 6 minutes.
That's the way to wake up, though.
It is. Doing that thing like the Ace Ventura thing,
right. See, I wish your car had a sunroof, because it'd be perfect for that, where you just sticking your head up out the top drive.
Great. Of course, I do have a high roof. I'd have to be like on my knees to do that.
Well, that's the little cars usually have high roofs.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they give you the space.
That's the one thing that blows my mind whenever I like walk by like a sports car or something. Like even like the newer ones, the roofs on those are so low.
Oh, everything's low.
Everything's low on those cars.
Yeah,
I'm like, I walked by one the other day. I'm like, I feel like a massive human being. I could not get in a car like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just so used to even like, because my wife has an SUV. I drive a Jeep. And like when I get in a car, any car, just a car, I feel like my butt's dragging on the ground. You know what I mean? I just get, like my wife used to have, before she had I think she had a Camry. Was that the car she had before? Yeah, it was a Camry. And every time we get in that thing, I was like, I felt like my butt was really dragging asphalt. I was just, man, what is going on here?
I recently changed my tires to a slightly larger tire. It took a lot of getting used to, but I'm finally used to swinging my foot out and not quite touching the ground. Like I have to push down to get it to touch terra firma.
Yeah.
So it took some getting used to, but yeah, I'm a little higher up now.
I always have that problem. Just slide out.
It's not often as
I
a
pole
man
vault into my
as a man above 6 feet. It's not very often that I get a feet dangling situation. You know.
I guess I take it for granted because I dangle so much.
Yeah. You're like Lily Tomlin. You dangle your feet anywhere.
Just the big dangling feet guy. But but it is nice. Nice change of pace. Got some weather. We got a chance for, and to be honest, like today's like a high of 93.
Ooh.
How awesome is that?
Dude, it's what a difference 10 degrees makes. I was walking around yesterday thinking, what a nice afternoon it is. Even when the sun was like beaten down, I'm like, it's not that bad. And I looked at my phone and it was 92 degrees. I'm like, what a difference 10 degrees makes.
When you get over that 100, it just feels like it's soul sucking a little bit.
It is soul sucking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's really hard to sit there and make an argument between which is worse, 106 and 116. I understand.
Right.
I understand 116 is worse. But 90 and 103, there's just such a vast difference.
Mm-hmm.
There's very little difference between 106 and 116, comparatively speaking.
No. Yeah, it's pleasant day versus not.
I will take it.
So it looks like we got a series of pleasant days with rain chances. So we'll do the weather and all that here.
The tease of the backside of summer.
That's right. And we're going to replay some interviews today, which kind of works out since I'm not feeling so hot. So we're going to replay our interview this hour with Greg Birch, artist Greg Birch. He joined us last week and unveiled some paintings. And also we had author Cindy Sloan Butts talking about her latest book. And, of course, Greg did the artwork for that book and a few of our other books as well, too. So we'll have that conversation here in just a little bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to replay our interview we had yesterday. We had John and Crystal Noble from Roswell Seed. Talk Roswell Seed and little couples counseling.
No, you didn't. Yeah, I was going to say, this is their monthly therapy. They come in here, they hash it out, and they do it on the air so that they can't technically call it a domestic dispute.
Well, there's all evidence now. Now they just go
Exactly.
back to, you said it, here it is.
Yeah.
I think they do that.
I love it. Let's cut to the tape.
Right. I think that's why they do it here, so they have tape evidence to talk about it later. So we're going to play that interview in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we had the folks from the DA's office join us, Gina and Justin, and we had Beaumont, the DA dog. We talked about the DA dogs and stuff. So we'll play that interview in the 9 o'clock hour this morning. So.
Very good.
Yeah. Plus all the features of the newses of the local national variety, sportses of the local national variety, and whatever else we can come up with.
Yes, indeed.
That being said, I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm spent.
Maybe
it's the weather.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've been complaining for a month. It's too hot to do anything. Now it's rainy out. I don't want to do anything right now.
It's too nice. I want to be outside. But yeah. So I guess we'll just get the hour going.
There you go.
Speaking of weather, here's your weather. Whether you want it or not, you're going to want this. This is good weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little bit of moist air getting into our region, so we may see a few afternoon showers or thunderstorms today. Low to mid 90s on the afternoon high. We will get some sunshine. Overnight, some clouds, and we're in the upper 60s, and then things dry out on Wednesday. Mid 90s on the high and plenty of sunshine. Then we have another chance of showers coming up on Thursday, mid 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 69 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 84%. That's unusual, right? Not used to that number. Winds out of the north at 5 miles per hour. We do have a 20% chance that we could see some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny for today and a high of 93. Winds will be out of the east at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. They say a sweet spot between 9 p.m. and midnight tonight. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 68 degrees with southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny, 94 for a high, winds out of the southeast at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday night, we're looking at a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms before midnight. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 69 degrees. Thursday, 30% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny and 94. 40% chance of rain for Thursday night. 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms for Friday afternoon. partly cloudy, 88 for a high. Looking at a 60% Friday night, mainly before midnight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 66. And then rain chances for the weekend as well. Saturday, a 50% chance of rain, partly cloudy and 87. 40% chance of rain Sunday, mostly sunny and partly cloudy, and 87 for a high. So we'll see. Could just warn you, when we got football Thursday and Friday night, might want to pack your rain gear. Might be getting wet for those. We'll see. But, yeah, don't forget, we do have Goddard football Thursday, Roswell Friday, both at home here. And we'll have those for you on the radio and all that. All right, it is 7:15. We're going to get you into your Roswell Livestock Report, your LaGrone Remembrance for today, and then on the other side, we'll play our interview with artist Greg Burtz and author Cindy Sloan Butts. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,725 head of cattle sold on Monday on a steady to lower market with excellent buyer attendance. Compared to last week, stocker calves sold steady to 6 lower, feeder cattle steady, packer cows and bulls sold steady. 3 to 400 pound steers 317 401, 3 to 400 pound heifers 298 330, 4 to 500 pound steers 307 317, 4 to 500 pound heifers 257 298, 5 to 600 pound steers 264 307, 5 to 600 pound heifers 233 257, 6 700 pound steers 245 264, 6 to 700 pound heifers 222 233, 7 800 pound steers 218 245, 7 800 pound heifers 205 222. Packer cows 138 147, canner and cutter cows 125 128, packer bulls 160 169, feeder bulls 140 150. Top half the cow calf pairs $2,500 to $3,250 per pair. Top half the bred cows $1,900 to $2,275 per head. Next week's sale will be on Tuesday in observance of Labor Day Monday, and we appreciate the business. Also pray for some rain. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel have been celebrating life for over 90 years. Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory celebrates and remembers. Joanne Bartlett passed away in Houston, Texas. Service will be held Saturday, August 24th, 9 a.m. at South Park Cemetery. Dixie Summers Gill passed away July 5th. Service will be Saturday, August 31st, 10 a.m. at McBride Veteran Cemetery. Tracy Foucher passed away August 8th. There are no services scheduled at this time. Brittany Brito passed away August 8th. Visitation is Monday, August 26th, 1 to 4 p.m. at Ballard Funeral Home. Services will be Tuesday, August 27th, 10 a.m. at Ballard Funeral Home, and interment following the service at South Park Cemetery. Danny McFadden passed away August 2nd. Memorial service will be 10 a.m. Saturday, August 24th at First Baptist Church, and interment following the service at McBride Veteran Cemetery. LaGrone Funeral Chapel remembers and celebrates David Joe Stogden, who passed away August 15th. Visitation will be Thursday, August 22nd, 5 to 7 p.m., with rosary to follow at 7 p.m. at LaGrone Funeral Chapel. Mass will be Friday, August 23rd, 2 p.m. at St. John's Catholic Church, with interment following Mass at South Park Cemetery. This has been today's Remembrance, brought to you by Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
And joining good morning. It is 23 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, of course, local artist Greg Burtz back with us. Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Always a pleasure to have you in studio once again. And back with Greg here is New Mexico book author Cindy Sloan Butts back with us. Good morning, Cindy. How are you today?
I'm just great. Thank you.
Well, thank you for spending some time with us here and talking, and of course, with Greg. And for folks that don't know, when we had Cindy on last time, you've written many books. Your latest book, which is one we're kind of been focusing on here, this one is actually very timely in the terms of history. Your book is called Wooden Shoes, Windmills, and the Westerbork camp, Jews of the Netherlands. And this is talking about internment camps during World War II in the Netherlands, which I don't think people necessarily, when you think of the Scandinavian part of Europe, you didn't think much about that kind of activity during World War II. But Greg and I were talking off air and said, well, when the Germans take over, the Germans take over. And that's, so.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
And so,
and by proximity, when the Nazis invaded Belgium and France and Luxembourg, Netherlands was the next likely target, and that's exactly what happened.
Wow! And so, that's her latest book here. Now, now the cover work, we want to equally tout as much as the content inside, because that's
by all means.
That's where Cindy and Greg are a partnership here, where you've done multiple art pieces of artwork for her books, and not this one, but past books as well too. So you guys have kind of worked a little tag team over the last few of Cindy's works of books and things here.
Yes, sir.
I won't publish without him.
Well, thank you.
I won't publish without him.
Well, and it's kind of, I find it interesting, with your book, and trust me, Greg, we're going to get to the art stuff, but since I just kind of started here, so I'll just keep that flow going. It's, the world we live in now, it's election year, you see the war going on in Israel, Ukraine, you just see, so I feel like your book is one of those things in which when you read it, it's like, I support the historical side of here. I'm a big history buff. That's been kind of one of my jams. And I know enough to know that people, if you don't study your history, you're doomed to repeat it. That's a cliche thing, but it is so true.
It's true.
And,
it's true.
And if you can't see parallels in our world right now to what was going on in the era of some of these books Cindy's writing about, then you need to study up on history, because it's very scary what we're seeing in the world right now. And this is why you got to pay attention.
Yes.
And that's why I recommend maybe grab a book or two like Cindy's here and maybe brush up on this stuff. So not to only learn history, but to, see what's actually going on in today's world under your nose here a little bit. Is that a fair statement, Cindy?
It really is. And prior to getting on the air with you, I did some additional research, not only for the purposes of continuing my work about the Holocaust, but just for keeping myself on top of what the world is doing. I came up with some really startling and unfortunate information that was published in The Atlantic.
Okay.
Is that 54% of the world's population, 2024, has never heard of the Holocaust.
Wow.
54%. And a third of the world's population believes that the genocide, only a third believes that the genocide has been accurately described, while 30% of the world believes that the Jews talk too much about the Holocaust. In other words, let's just give it up. It's in the past. So why do we need to talk about it?
Oh, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, oh, okay, yeah, we've all had hard problems. Yeah, I get what you're saying. That, and you know what? That's the propaganda side. I mean, this is when you talk about history, and you we'll stick with World War II history. Propaganda. There's two wars that always go on. We're not, there's the one with the tanks and the guns and the trenches and all that, and then there's winning the hearts and minds. And if you ever wonder how the Nazis got as far as they did, it's because they won the hearts and minds before the tanks and guns came out. And guess what?
Absolutely.
Guess what?
Absolutely.
We're living in a world where they're trying to win the hearts and minds here. That's all I'm saying.
Denial is just another form of genocide.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this is where good people have to wake up a little bit, because good people want to see the good in everybody. And I'm the same way. I'm like, look, I want to, I think everyone's got good intentions, but sometimes you figure out, and to be honest, I still think there's people that have good intentions. They're just seriously, they've drank the Kool-Aid. The propaganda has reached its target. It's done what it's supposed to do. And now, and that's why the things you're reading in the Atlantic are, when we were kids, we look at the Holocaust and we're like, oh my gosh, this is probably one of the most heinous human acts in our modern century here. Yeah. And we learned it, and now 50, well, I'm 50, so I'll say 30 years later, now you talk about the Holocaust, there's people like you said in these stats that you just gave, Cindy, and to me that's a scary thing.
It is.
That is scary. This is how we repeat history. You want to see those things come back? Keep denying stuff like this. Keep trivializing things like this, and see what happens in your own backyard.
One of the slogans of those of us who study the Holocaust and genocide and anti-Semitism and so on is never again. Mm-hmm. Never again, never forget. And for as long as we continue to remember what happened, we can, in our own ways, in our own space, make sure that it never happens again.
Absolutely. And so, please, this is where I beg young people especially, educate yourself. Read. This is why I tell people all the time, go watch CNN, don't go watch Fox News, go do it all. Get everything, because once you get all perspectives, somewhere in the middle is probably about where the real picture is on
exactly.
Right.
You can kind of delineate the spin versus the substance, and unfortunately, that's why you have to live in this world today. With the age of the internet and technology, it's a blessing and it's a huge curse. And this is the curse side, where it's easy to get information, but it's also easy to get wrong information. And that's where you the consumer, you the citizen, have to wisen up to understand who's trying to give you a straight information versus who's trying to spin you to their side, to their agenda, to their way of thinking. And they're not going to do it by being bullied up in your face. They're going to be doing it with bubblegum and candy and kumbaya on it, making it sound like a good idea.
That's right.
the reason the world you're in today.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly. And because my work is historical fiction, all of the documentation is accurate. And when I say I'm working on my next book, by the way, just for information's sake, which takes place in France, because as a person who considers herself a Francophile and having studied French for a million years, I decided that France was the last country that I was going to focus on. And when I come up with the fact that 13,412 Jews were sent to the Velodrome d'Hiver in Paris, that's not pulling data out of the sky. That's real stuff.
Absolutely.
So I'm responsible for that. To make sure that my historical fiction is historic.
So I'm just was curious, because this is, and especially when you talk with authors that do historical work, books and things like that. A lot of times, like you said, a lot of it's digging. You're in libraries, you're in archives, you're going through dusty volumes of things looking for information. But some of that also involves travel. And since you're talking about places like the Netherlands and France, and do you get opportunities to go to these places as part of your research, or is the modern world just do it all in the internet and through the modern ways of finding things?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Happily, I've had the experience of visiting Germany and Italy and France and Malta, which was a very crucial spot during World War II, and most importantly, Israel, having visited Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. But so a lot of what I've done is eyes on,
gotcha.
But I haven't yet been to Warsaw, and I haven't yet been to Auschwitz, and those are all on my list of things that I need to do.
I have never either. The couple times I've been to Europe, Uncle Sam sent me there. So, so I didn't really get a chance to do a lot of...
Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. But I didn't get a chance to do a lot of sightseeing. I did a little bit because I was in the Air Force, and we're the
good,
people.
Good stuff.
People like to work smarter, not harder. That's Air Force way. Yeah. So people give us hard times and stuff, but it's a pretty good gig. But anyway. Anyway,
it's better than fighting in the trenches, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm in the rear with the gear. But anyway, that is a bucket list thing. I'd love to go back to Europe, and I spent a little time in Italy, a little time in Germany. I've never been, weirdly enough, England and Spain and some of the, I was in the Azores for about 45 minutes. But I mean, I've never. So now, at some point, that's what I want to do. I want to go to Normandy. I want to go to Auschwitz. I'd love to go to some of these tentpole historical places in Europe and study some of that and see. I would love to even to go to into France or into see some of these towns and see where they are today compared to because a lot of these where they got leveled during World War II, and to see them now and see what's there, to me that's fascinating to see. I love looking at old photos and seeing for instance, like I'm a kind of a Civil War nut, and I'm from Maryland, D.C. area, so I grew up, and so I was at Antietam Battlefield, and one of the things I loved about that, there's a bridge there called the Burnside Bridge. It's one of the pivotal parts of the battle. Well, I'm at Burnside Bridge, and at the bridge there's a picture with a historical marker talking about what took place here. But the picture of the bridge is taken literally a day or two after the battle, where they're still falling on the ground and everything else.
Right.
And that's cool to look at. But the thing that just kind of gave me the goosebumps and everything else is I'm sitting there looking at that photo, and there's the bridge in the picture, and just to the left of the bridge there's this little sapling tree that looks all beat up and dangled over after the battle. And I'm looking at the bridge, and there's this huge oak tree that's about 2 foot diameter, going up for as long as the eye can see. I was like, that's the tree. There's the tree at the battle. And now I'm looking at it here 100+ years later. To me, that just hit me different. And so that's why I love going to these places, to see that kind of stuff, to see like, oh my gosh, this. And then I look at the tree, I'm like, this tree's seen a lot, man. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about that.
Yeah, for real.
And so
that's great stuff.
So that's why I was kind of asking about the travel stuff. I was like, do you get those moments? Because for me, that's like my favorite part of history, and my favorite is when I see the picture then, I see now, and I'm like, wow, look at these, look, they're still here. That's so amazing to me. So anyway, I got off sidetracked here. But so I got to ask, now that your book here, the Wooden Shoes, Windmills, and the Westerbork Camp, Jews of the Netherlands. This book is available right now. You can get it. Amazon, I think, is probably probably the best way to get it for folks? Or
yes.
I imagine if you're in the Albuquerque area, you might be in a few bookstores locally there. I don't know.
Yes, in fact, I'm doing a book signing Saturday at one of the local bookstores, Treasure House Books in Old Town.
Oh, okay.
So if you're an Albuquerque visitor,
Sure.
or if you live in Albuquerque, then I'll be there and signing books, and that's where you can actually get your hands on it right now.
You're a New Mexican, but when you're a New Mexican outside of Albuquerque, it's not uncommon for us to do 3-hour trips for lunch. It's just, we're going to go to Albuquerque, do a little shopping, do a little eating. So there's going to be I guarantee, be a few folks from town. We're going to Albuquerque weekend for shopping or whatever. Hit the bookstore, pick up a copy. You can meet and talk with Cindy, and get a book signed, and of course get a copy and maybe talk about the next stuff. So now this book is out. Now I know you said you're working on your next book, which is basically covering France and internment camps and things during that time. Do you anticipate it? Like how far in that process are we? Could it come out here in weeks or months? Or are we years away? What are we thinking?
Well, I'm my worst taskmaster.
Okay.
And as I was telling Greg before we got on the air, he's already started his research, right, Greg?
Yes, ma'am.
I say Greg's probably like, I already did the artwork. You don't even know the book yet, but I got the artwork done.
That's pretty much how it works.
He's got the title, and I'm about to send him the synopsis, which I've already done. But being that I'm a taskmaster and I seek to, every day that I'm not teaching, which is, periodic because I'm a substitute teacher here in Rio Rancho, my goal is to create 500 words every day that I can work on my book. So my goal, this is going to be a longer book than some of the previous ones, just because I've already created the plot.
Sure.
But my goal is Christmas.
Okay. So
it'll be done.
I'm just whiz curious about the writing process now, because it just spawned that question. Because especially with your books, it's research to get it right, and then So does it? I'm kind of curious. Do you do all the research before the writing, or do you do research as you write? I'm just whiz curious about that.
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Okay.
Because let me give you an example. One of the pieces of this book has to do with what most people don't know about France during World War II, which was that the Vichy government, which was headquartered, believe it or not, in Vichy, was a dominant force from 1941 until about 1944, and it was pro-Nazi, and they were collaborating with the Nazis. Now, unless you know that in advance, you see the city of Vichy and you say, oh, ho-hum, it could be Versailles, and it could be Marseille, and who knows. But I have to stop what I'm doing and look up Vichy and find out whatever I can about Vichy, and then go back to putting the story together.
So it's kind of like, for me, kind of like you write it how I read it. Because sometimes I'll read things and then I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I got to go do a Google search or something and come back.
Right. Because I'm learning as I'm writing.
Okay, cool.
I'm learning as I'm writing.
Excellent. Interesting. I was just, because I'm always fast, and I do it every time. I ask Greg about painting stuff. Yeah, I get a musician in here. I'm wanting, like, you write in the shower? How does this work? I always want to know how the sausage is made. So,
right. And sometimes my inspiration comes from sources that you would never expect. I had a teacher at one of the schools where I used to hang out quite a bit walk up to me and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I was at Costco and I found a book about the Jews of the Netherlands. Have you written at all about that? And I said, not yet. That's pre-wooden shoes, windmills, and Westerbork. And she said, well, my family originates in the Netherlands, and it really would be nice to know something more about that. And I said, done. And so I launched wooden shoes, windshields, windmills, and Westerbork. And
windshields would be good too.
Windshield, yeah. I'm looking at hummingbirds outside my window, and I'm thinking, I'd rather see them there than plastered against my window.
This is a true statement. But this is great. But if you can't get to Albuquerque, definitely look for the book on Amazon. Actually, if you probably type in her name by Cindy Sloan Butts, you'll not only see this book, but all of Cindy's other books as well. Because I imagine you'll find this one. You're like, I bet there's one or two other books that Cindy wrote that I might find an interest in as well too. So.
I have 9 in print. I have 9 in print. 3 of them are murder mysteries from New Mexico.
Excellent. So you do dabble into the nonfiction or the fiction as well as nonfiction.
Right.
Good
right.
deal.
That's where I'm going after I finish France.
Excellent. Well, I imagine just is it kind of like you like obviously writing nonfiction and doing the research. That's work. But I imagine sometimes writing the fiction that's where you get to play a little bit. Because that's where the creative,
exactly.
The history's history. You're reporting it, but with the with the fiction, you get to create. You get to create an environment. You get to get a little artistic flair, and so that's got to be the fun writing is the fiction work.
It is. It's stretching my artistic legs and being creative, and because I have the greatest illustrator on the planet, all I have to do is. It's true. All I have to do is say, Greg, I'm thinking, the best example was the Roadrunners and the Runaways of Roswell. And I said that to Greg, and boom, he came up with a great cover.
Nice.
So I have great resources.
Maybe that's the next one. Just tell Greg, paint me something, I don't care, and I'm going to write a story about it.
There you go.
Well, that's rough. That's pretty stressful.
But it could be fun.
Oh yeah.
Of course, it depends on what Greg paints you. Could get Woody out there. You never know. So.
There you are.
But
his work is so good.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, we'll call that segue.
Okay.
Greg is actually good. Of course, like we said, he's got his. You've been working with Cindy, and you've been busy creating stuff for there. But you've been very busy, actually doing stuff for Canvas to hang on walls and what have you as well, too.
Yes, sir.
Probably one of the bigger ones here, and I don't know if we want to start there or do you want to go deep, but the Humane Society, which they have their big fundraising event coming up next month where they're going to have a stand-up comedy night at the Liberty. Our very own Sean will be opening that night, but they're going to have a silent auction things, and you've donated one of your pieces of art, which by the way, Crystal over there is a fan because I know she's privately bought works from you and stuff too. So,
yes, sir.
So that's pretty cool that you're able to donate painting to the Humane Society to help raise money for that group. So Because I imagine your paintings can fetch quite a hunk of change for an organization like this too.
Well, sometimes. You got to stay humble in doing all this.
So when they ask you or when you offer to do that, do you have something in mind when you do that, or like do you pick a theme, or you're like, okay, it's Humane Society, do I do it pet related, or
no?
How does that work?
Crystal, I was just sitting there, and I was finishing up a painting of a new historical Billy the Kid painting.
Okay,
and just out of the blue, she sent me a message and asked me if I wanted to donate a painting to this to the Roswell Humane Society.
Okay.
Well, I mean that's for the animals that don't have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
They can't tell you what they want,
Absolutely.
what they need, and they got to have food and stuff like that over there.
You see the most happiest moments in humanity and some of the saddest.
Yes.
Over at the Humane Society.
Yes,
because you see what people are capable of, and it makes you very sad and very angry sometimes. But then you also see the other side where you're like, what a loving human being that person is. And the Humane Society gets all of that there and through animals. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So the first painting I came up with was this little jewel right here.
Oh, cool. See, I don't want, like I said, I deliberately not look at these until right now. How cool is that? So for folks that are on the radio that are not seeing the video side, it is a buffalo, but it's like a kind of like a collage within the buffalo of various other art of the buffalo, and it's got the Southwest theme. So Greg, kind of give us the story behind this.
Okay. Now, whoever gets this first mountain right here,
okay,
that was one of the mesas up there at Abiquiu that Georgia O'Keeffe liked to paint.
Okay,
and it is one of the toughest paintings to paint. One of the mesas.
So it's like okay, I got
because this thing, the way that it faces, it's always changing colors on you. And if you take a picture of it, now you're going to be able to paint it.
Right.
But if you're sitting there painting it just in still life as you are, just sitting there, it's rough. So the second mesa, this one here is just outside of Chama.
Okay.
If you're going into Chama, coming up from the south, going up north,
okay,
you're going to come across this mesa, and it just sits right out there. The only thing that's on this thing is just basically buffalo grass. That's it.
Just brown grass.
Exactly. And then this third one, it starts right here and it comes all the way down. And that one there is what they call, well, I call it the Tucumcari Mountain.
Okay.
And this is in Tucumcari.
Okay.
So basically, and the buffalo running here on the trail, let me finish off by that. The buffalo running here on the trail, this is just south of Cimarron.
Okay.
A few miles just outside of it. That was on the Santa Fe Trail that the Apaches used to always run these buffalo and kill them. So this is the historical fact that you're getting on this painting.
Sure. And then, of course, I see some of the natives, and it looks like they're in the buffalo hunting ground there. That's part of depicting, how they hunted buffalo back in that period.
Exactly.
So, gotcha.
Exactly.
That is such a cool painting because it's kind of like because it's a painting within a painting. It's a buffalo walking the plain, so to speak.
Scene on scene.
Yeah, and then but the buffalo is kind of an homage to New Mexico landscape and New Mexico culture.
Exactly.
Kind of very cool.
And that's some of the history that whoever purchases this painting, that's what they're going to be getting.
Cool. I love that. I love style of paintings where you have to sit and look a while because every time you look, there's something different. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's one of those things, and that's what when art can do that. To me, that's a home run. So awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But then I was just sitting there, and I was like, well, I can't do just one painting, especially for this cause, which is for our four-legged friends.
Mm-hmm.
And let's try to get a little bit more money for them so that they can help these animals and do where this money is going to go.
Humane Society really, I mean, they could not be open if it wasn't for people donating food and litter and toys and cash all the time. I mean, they do what they can with it. That thrift store really helps. That if it wasn't for that thrift store, I don't think that Humane Society could function.
Well, and I don't want to over exaggerate one to the other, but in a way too, this is kind of like doing these book covers for Cindy, as well as how I see these dogs, because they're caged inside of a house and they don't have a voice, and neither did these Jews. Is kind of how I see it. And that's why I've got so much. Yeah. That's why there's so much meaning into this that I want to do.
Absolutely, you can definitely see a parallel there, and that's and just a quick plug for the Humane Society. Always remember, when you're going there to adopt an animal, remember you're seeing them at their worst.
Exactly,
you're seeing them in jail basically, and so once you get them out of that environment a little bit,
it's up to you,
and you'll see the personality come out, and you'll see what truly cool animal you got there as a friend. So, but always remember that
reflections of you.
Exactly.
They're going to be reflections of you. If you're kind and loving and caring, then your dog is going, or your cat is going to wind up being exactly the same personality.
I got 2 cats that are spoiled rotten right now.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So I was sitting there and I was like, well, I can't to this cause, because this is for our fur friends and our 4-legged friends. I need to do a second painting, and so. This one is still wet.
All right.
It
so
hasn't
no touchy.
had time.
No touchy.
Exactly. But Crystal, she knew nothing about this.
Okay.
She only expected the one.
So you went a twofer.
And so I told her, I said, here was my little twist that I wanted to do. Would you accept this second painting for the silent auction? And sure enough, they accepted it. And here will be the second painting that somebody can win.
Oh, wow. That's
You're
amazing. Look at that. Sorry.
You're amazing.
Sorry, give me a second here because I got to describe for radio people. So this one, okay, think of the similar, but when I said the buffalo, this one is a wolf, and it's in just the head and neck part, and it's kind of howling at the moon. But, again, it's Greg Birch. So within the wolf, there is different New Mexico, we see a mountain scene with the river. There's the moon in the background. It's really kind of a cool. Now is it in the sky, or is it almost like an ocean underneath there? I'm trying to.
Basically he's coming up out of a clouded image.
Yeah,
and then you've got the Aurora Borealis right up here across the top.
That is impressive.
Well, thank you.
And I love how the tears coming out of his eye go down to the river into the waterfall. There is pretty impressive. So is that another historical landmark in New Mexico?
The mountain?
The mountain, yes.
The mountain, basically, no, you can say that it's up around the Oregon Mountains, because that's where they re-released the Mexican gray wolf.
Okay, so it's kind of an amalgamation of the mountains up there. It's not a specific mountain.
No,
gotcha.
It can also be up in northern New Mexico.
Okay.
So I didn't put a specific mountain that this is who it is.
Excellent. Well, I imagine people that are going to the Humane Society's event are going to be animal lovers, and I think some animal lover will love to have that painting hanging in their home somewhere.
Well, I hope they like it.
It's a beautiful painting. I mean, I'm trying to decide. I think because of the color scheme, I think I like this one a little better than the buffalo. But they're both amazing. But I like the blues. I think it's just like the blues draw
the blues
me a little
and the
bit.
purples.
Yeah, it kind of it just makes me a little happier for some reason.
But this one here was just more on the graphic side.
Sure, but it's beautiful.
What I put on that one.
It's very, but that's it's so much detail to it, and that's one of those thinking ones to me. Like you're sitting there and you're like, all right, and then you come back next day, like, was that there last time? No, he put that in. It wasn't there last time. And so I love that.
Now,
can the author throw a word in here that
yes, ma'am.
Really is indicative of what Greg does?
Yes, ma'am. Fire away.
Symbols. His work is full of symbols of New Mexico and our life here and our history and everything that defines this beautiful state. So all of his work is seriously symbolic. The bison are symbolic. The wolves are symbolic. And that's what makes his work so great.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
And this is what also goes, I think, to your credit is Greg does this, and this is what your passions are. But then in a minute, you're like, I can paint you a cartoon character. I can paint you something completely
Metallica.
Yeah, something not so deep.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Something just to enjoy. So we're running short on time, so I want to get you a chance to talk about some of the other things you got going on, too.
Right. Right now I'm in talks. Actually, this afternoon after I get done, I got to go drop these off to Crystal.
Okay.
As soon as I get done here.
Might want to make that one dry a little bit more. You know, dogs and stuff, they might get licking on that.
Right.
Might look a little different after a while.
But anyway, I got this new painting that is of the Santa Fe jail. It's lost to history. It's no more. You can't, if you go up there and try to look for it now, all you're going to see is a parking lot.
Gotcha.
That's it.
No,
the building's gone.
No, even a remnants of a foundation or nothing.
Nothing. It's just blacktop.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so anyway, I contacted the Palace of the Governors. Everything up there is kind of like down here at the Historical Society.
Mm-hmm.
It's by appointment only in order to get into the Palace of the Governors.
Okay.
And anyway, I got to give them a call back this afternoon, and hopefully this new painting, that's where it will sit.
Ooh.
So you will see it next to the authentic picture, which ain't very big, that shows what the jail looked like, but you'll get to see it in color.
That is so cool. And that's something we didn't mention this time. That, by the way, Greg's pieces are in various museums and government buildings. And
more to come.
Yeah, they're all over the country, not even just here in New Mexico, but all over the country, but some even in out of the country, too, I imagine. So, good deal. Again, get the latest book from Cindy or any of her books. Follow them on Amazon. Just look for Cindy Sloan Butts. Do your Amazon search there, and you'll find not only her latest book here, which is, again, entitled Wooden Shoes, Windmills, and the Westport Camp, Jews of the Netherlands. Let me put it on that camera for they can see it better on that one. You can find it there on Amazon as well.
And this one here, she will be doing the book signing this Saturday up in Albuquerque.
Yes. What was the name of the bookstore you're going to be at again, Cindy?
Treasure House Books.
Treasure House Books in Albuquerque. You can come by. What time are you going to be there? What time there on Saturday?
It's in Old Town, and the book signing is from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m.
Okay, 1:30 to 3:30 at Old Town there at the Treasure's bookstore there. Awesome.
Exactly.
And then, of course, you can find Greg on Facebook if you want to commission work from him, or if you want to just pick his brain about stuff. He loves talking. So if you want to chit-chat, you need a friend, maybe you might even make a new one if you hit up Greg on Facebook.
And the
awesome.
website is coming. It is in the works. It's coming.
More to come. Stay tuned. So.
Yes, sir.
I know somebody who can write the copy for you.
There you go. There you go. First employee right there.
There you go.
She can handle helping that. So excellent. Well, Cindy, thank you so much for spending time with us here. And we look forward to our next conversation. And we can't wait to imagine next time we'll talk to you, we'll probably have a new book coming out here to talk about. So we do appreciate it.
And we'll do it in English and not in French. How's that?
That would help much. I would understand way more of it because pass oui and that's about all I got.
Bonjour.
In French. Yeah, bonjour and oui. That's about my expense. I can hang a little bit longer in Spanish, but not much longer. So,
thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Greg, and we'll see you guys next time. Okay. All right. There goes Cindy. We gotta take a quick break before news. So don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
News update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A new homicide investigation underway from Saturday in Roswell, where police responded to the 1500 block of Adams Avenue in South Roswell. When officers got there, they found a number of people in the front yard of a home, including a woman on the ground. That woman, later identified as 30-year-old Christina Anita Gonzalez, who lived at the home, had at least one gunshot wound. Gonzalez was rushed to a local hospital where she died. Anyone with any information regarding the case is urged to call Roswell police immediately. More flash flooding concerns at Ruidoso. A flash flood warning continues until tonight. Village officials say the situation is dangerous and life-threatening. Travel being discouraged unless you are fleeing high water. About 4/10 of an inch of rain fell over the Salt Fire burn scar Monday, with more rain in the forecast. Ruidoso Municipal Schools also issued a shelter-in-place order on Monday. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
I have a rule. If an email is going to take me longer than a minute to write, I'd pick up the phone or send a video meeting invite instead. And if you're still fumbling with your TV's remote controls button, it's time for you to use your inside voice. I'm Kim Commando for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Accelerate your AI workload today. Take a free test drive at oracle.com/Kim. You may not have even noticed that your TV or cable company's remote control has a microphone or a voice button. Well, it's time for you to start using it. No longer will you have to hunt through the guide to find a channel or a particular program or a movie to watch. You just hit the microphone or a voice button and bam, you're in the future. Your TV will do as you command. You can browse apps, movies, and shows, check the weather and sports scores, go to a specific network or channel, launch content, and more using only your voice. The way that you set it up depends on your TV or cable provider. Google how, and you can thank me later. Enter to win a brand new iPhone 16 right now at winfromkim.com. AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim, oracle.com/Kim.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Kind of a bummer of the start of the season for the Roswell Coyotes playing at Los Lunas Friday night. Much anticipated, of course. Roswell was tied with the Tigers 7-7 when weather rolled in, and that was the end of the game. It was a cancellation near the end of the first quarter. Meanwhile, Goddard playing at home lost to Portales 22-16. Rockets went up 9-8 on a 45-yard TD pass, Isaiah Montoya to Isaiah Hunter. But then Portales took control from that point. Dexter mauled Jow by a score of 58-7. It was Hagerman beating Dulce, the debut for the Bobcats in 8-man football. Bobcats win 20-12. Gateway Christian romped over Cloudcroft 57-0. Also in 8-man football, 50-0 at the end of the first quarter. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
The perfect pair of glasses is a lot closer than you think. The EyeSight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs is now accepting new patients 5 and up. The EyeSight accepts all VSP vision plans for full contact lens and glasses, as well as Medicare, Davis, and more. Designer frames from Maui Gyms, Oakley, and so much more. The EyeSight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs offers complete eye care, including pre- and post-cataract and LASIK, as well as glaucoma testing. The perfect pair is waiting for you at the EyeSight in Roswell, Carlsbad, or Hobbs. Clearly the best in sight. The Labor Day Savings Event is on now at Roswell Honda with scorching savings across the lot on a great selection of vehicles like a 2023 Toyota Tacoma priced under $34,000 or a brand new Honda CR-V for under $36,000. In the service department, take $10 off your next oil change and tires are buy 3, get 1 free. Then join Roswell Honda Saturday, August 31st from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kids, and your chance to score a 4-burner gas grill and $200 Super Meat Mart gift card. The Labor Day Savings Event on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
And we are closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News is coming up here in just a few seconds. Stay tuned next hour, about 8:15 or so. We're going to replay our interview we had with John and Crystal Noble from Roswell Seed, get an update from them. That's coming up next hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview we had with the folks from the District Attorney's Office. We had Gina Yeager, who one of the things she does is head up the DA Dogs program there. And so we talk about that. We also had Justin Dominguez, lead investigator, join as well. So we'll play that interview talking about the DA dogs in the 9 o'clock hour. All right, we're closing at 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. It's the Israeli military to the rescue. The Israelis say they have rescued one of the scores of hostages taken captive by Hamas during the October 7th terror attack. The 52-year-old man, a member of Israel's Arab Bedouin minority, was rescued during what's described as a complex operation in the southern Gaza Strip. Israel believes there are still 108 hostages inside Gaza and that more than 40 of them are dead. The special counsel in the dismissed Trump classified documents case asking an appeals court to revive the case.
A federal judge threw out the case last month after concluding that Jack Smith's appointment as special counsel was unconstitutional. The appeal is the latest development in a prosecution that has been derailed by delays and ultimately the dismissal. It's unclear how long it will take for the appeals court to decide the matter, but even if it overturns the case and revives the prosecution, there's no chance of a trial before the November presidential election. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Texas federal judge has put a temporary hold on a Biden program that short-circuits the process for certain immigrant spouses to obtain U.S. citizenship. For the second night in a row, Russian drone and missile attacks have struck across Ukraine. At least 4 people killed in this most recent barrage.
For a second morning, the sirens wailed as Russian missiles closed in. Blasts have been reported in at least 7 cities, including Kryvyi Rih, where a woman was killed in a strike that obliterated part of a hotel. Explosions have been heard again in the capital, Kyiv, as air defense kicked in.
The BBC's Nick Beake. It's been a wild week of weather across the country. The latest manifestation of that, a dangerous heat wave. It's now spreading from the Midwest to the East Coast. Watching Wall Street, the Dow down 59 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
As Israel goes after terrorists hiding in the midst of civilians, the war in Gaza grinds on. The UN is chiming in again on the plight of civilians in the war zone.
The United Nations official today said that the areas which are safe to operate in are getting squeezed all the time, and it's becoming more and more difficult. And of course, every time there is one of these evacuation orders, it's not just the aid agencies who have to move, it's the population. So we've heard from families in Gaza who have had to move half a dozen times over the past 10 months, sometimes travelling by foot, walking long distances, only to get to one location and then told they've got to move again.
The BBC's John Donovan in Jerusalem. China calling for more countries to endorse its peace plan for Ukraine. This comes after a round of diplomacy involving Indonesia, Brazil, and South Africa. China trying to get those countries to support its plan. News and analysis, townhall.com. All these years later, a baseball legend is still setting records.
The jersey Babe Ruth wore when he called his shot during the 1932 World Series, hitting a home run to center field, has sold at auction for over $24 million. Heritage Auctions say the New York Yankees slugger's jersey went for $24.12 million after a bidding war in Dallas that lasted over 6 hours. Heritage says the buyer wishes to remain anonymous. The record-breaking amount the Jersey sold for top fellow Yankee Mickey Mantle's 1952 rookie card, which the Dallas-based auction house sold for $12.6 million in 2022. John Scott reporting.
A Northern Virginia man who attacked a congressional staffers with a baseball bat has been found not guilty by reason of insanity. The attack occurred in the D.C. office of Congressman Jerry Connolly. 2 staffers were hurt, including an intern who was working her first day on the job. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelist and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Dudes.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
The twist of all the days.
Welcome to it.
Welcome to it.
A pleasant.
An absolutely pleasant Tuesday.
So, happy pleasant Tuesday.
Weather outside, not so bad.
Not so frightful.
Not so frightful. I was able to maintain no sweat on the back of my head for the majority of yesterday.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, that's like the first time in a long time. That is good for me. Is that something you still experience? I mean, do you sweat through your head a lot?
Oh god, even more so than I'm bald.
Really?
Yeah.
So you get like, because that's the worst part for me is when it's really hot or when I really strain myself. I don't sweat here really. It's always here and like right here.
You don't notice how much your head sweats until you have no hair.
You just get shiny.
Yeah, and it's like this, and it's like slick, and you're like, I mean, I've had it to, I am a enjoyer of, I like hot food.
Sure.
But I eat anything spicy, and next thing you know, I got this sweat on top of my head just shows up. Can't help it.
The worst thing in the world for me, and I hate this whenever I eat spicy food, is the mustache sweat. Like right here, right under it's just like, oh, this is so, I know I'm going to get a wet lip if I eat this.
See, it hits me on the top. Like on the top, next thing you know, my head's all soaked.
Mm-hmm.
And and anytime, it's just, I do. I think it's worse now that I'm hairless.
Now that you're you're New Mexican hairless.
Yeah. I have no hair. I think I've noticed it more than with hair. So yeah, I do, and it happens very weirdly, and just maybe it's partly because and plus as I get older, I get like cold times when I'm like, why am I cold? And generally it's usually like right before I get hot. Like if I get hot and then I get the sweat on the head, 5 minutes later I'm like shivering.
That's the sweat doing its job.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
There.
It works. But yes, I do have all that. I do want to mention something. I started watching it, and we talked a little bit about it off air. On Apple Plus, there is a documentary series, and it's called The Cowboy Cartel. And I believe it's a 4 or 5 part series. It's on Apple Plus.
Okay.
And
see, I thought it was on Netflix, but okay.
No, it's Apple Plus.
Gotcha.
And it talks about really the drug cartels in Mexico, particularly the Zeta cartel, which I learned in this documentary. The Zetas are pretty rough. Like
sure,
So basically, the Zetas were initially special forces for Mexico, like the Green Berets or something for us. They were trained by American forces. They were combating the cartels. Well, the cartels lured them over to their side, basically. Basically started paying them to protect them. And then at one point, the cartels started paying the Zetas in cocaine instead of cash. And so the Zetas said, well, why do we need you guys? We're just going to sell our own cocaine.
We're just going to sell this cocaine.
So basically they start, but but they're like the roughest, toughest. They're the ones, like all the border stuff you hear, that's them, the Zetas. And so the documentary predominantly deals in Laredo, Texas area. And that's kind of a border, the FBI there and all that. But the premise of the whole documentary is the Zetas, the two brothers that are ahead of it have a third brother. The third brother is they're into horses, buying horses, home horse. And so the whole thing is basically about how the Zetas got blown up by the government based off this horse ring of buying, selling, racing horses.
They were like money laundering, but through horses.
Yes. And the Trevino
Trevino?
fame. I think it's Trevino fame. And so there's the two brothers that run the Zeta cartel. And then the third brother, who apparently he was a bricklayer in Dallas, Texas. And that's where he, quote unquote, earned his living being a bricklayer and all that. And then all of a sudden he started buying crazy horses and this and all that. And then, but the thing that's kind of cool about it is Ruidoso is very much involved in the document series. I've only watched the first, I think, 2 episodes, and it's only in the first part because, but it's pretty prominent because they get into quarter horse racing, and for people, like when you watch the Kentucky Derby and the Churchill, those are
all those
thoroughbred
races.
Those are thoroughbred races. Well, what's considered, and I know most of you know this already, but there's probably a few people that don't. What's considered the horse race of the West or the cowboy is the quarter horse.
The quarter horse,
and that's
which up until about a month ago, I swear was just the name of the horse in front of the Kmart. So I thought that was the quarter horse.
Now it's 2 quarter. Inflation. But anyway, so Ruidoso Downs is a big deal in the quarter horse racing world, and so they were having what was in essence the Kentucky Derby of the quarter horse racing world at Ruidoso Downs, and they have a big auction. And so that's where this guy was buying horses and using his handlers and all that, and then racing and winning and all. And so he was kind of becoming and so the FBI. So the whole thing is basically how they basically track down, do the trace the money, track it back, and they arrest and bust the Zeta cartel. But it's kind of neat because Ruidoso's all through it.
Just playing a prominent part.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Cocaine Cowboys?
Parts of it. I've never seen. That's the one with the boat racing, right?
I think so. I'm curious to see how much of this story lines up with the Cocaine Cowboy story, and if there's any similar, like any crossover.
From the basic parts I've seen of both of those, because I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes of the Cocaine Cowboys too, and then I got sidetracked and never finished it. But the big difference I noticed there was and to be honest, it was but on a much lower level. Whereas those guys were flashy. The boat guys, like they were literally down in Miami, king-dingling it up with these, just. Yeah. And yet now the Trevino guy kind of did the same thing in essence, but not nearly to that level. Like he was, like, it was just weird that some bricklayer guy all of a sudden come into money and they were selling off these horses, like winning horses cheap to this guy. And so it was really, it was shady business that was going on. And they just follow that trail.
I'd imagine there's a whole lot of that like, I mean, because it's such a high end and such a glamorous like industry. If you ever go to like the big horse race tracks, they're always glorious green fields, beautiful buildings, and there's so much money sunk into this industry. You gotta think there's some less than above board stuff happening.
Well, and that's kind of the quarter horse racing is kind of, it's like a rancher sport.
You know, generally the horse owners are ranchers and, you know, well-to-do ranchers, but ranchers nonetheless.
Right.
You know, and then this guy come in kind of, what's he doing? And it's interesting. It's a good documentary. I highly recommend the parts I've seen so far. I think you really like it. Just even if you don't care about the Ruidoso factor, but that was kind of neat. Just
definitely gonna want to check it out. Just because I'm curious to see. I saw most of season 1 of Cocaine Cowboys, and I'm just curious to see if any of these stories like intersect with. Because theirs was basically, it was different parts of the
well, I think here's the difference is all that stuff Miami was more Colombian stuff, where this is Mexican.
Right.
Cartel. It's
but,
different,
lines cross.
It's different groups of shady people. But the one thing that I did notice, and I'm not trying to spoil alert it here a little bit, but like the Zetas, they don't mess around. Like this is should
we even be talking about them right now?
Well,
I mean, we are close enough to where they can...
I mean, that's kind of the thing. Like these guys in Laredo and stuff, like they were going after the agents' families and stuff. So they were. But on top of that, which makes you think is like guys here in Ruidoso that were quote unquote like marketing buyers for the horses and things like that, and a lot of them too were also beholden to the cartel, and some of those people just disappeared. Like there's people that were buying horses for this guy, and once the Zetas don't need you anymore, and you're a loose end, you're gone, and these people disappeared, and so it's pretty crazy. But it's an interesting documentary. If you got Apple Plus, worth checking out. It's called Cowboy Cartel, and I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes of it. So,
all right, this is again for those who are just joining us, the John Doe and Jim Richardson show. Those are our names. We'll stand by those names.
It's going to be sunny today.
Don't ask anybody else what our names actually are, where we live, or our kids go to school.
Yeah.
Forget any of that.
But well, I figure if it's on Apple Plus, I didn't say anything. It wasn't on Apple Plus. So
yeah, but they're way over there, way up there. We're close to the border. The right guy with the right satellite, and I just picture there's one guy like sitting in a field somewhere, just like listening for. Oh, they mentioned our name.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, like I said, my name is Roy Smith. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Roy. I had to throw somebody on the bus. You were in the room.
He wasn't even here. Poor guy.
Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're going to get you up to date with the weather and all that here in just a bit. Then we're going to play an interview with John and Crystal Noble from Roswell Seed. They did give us an update on some things going on there. And then, of course, therapy. So we'll play that interview for you here in just a bit. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, Wall Street business update, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But first, let's take a look at that weather. It's good news bear weather, so everyone's happy to hear it.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little bit of moist air getting into our region, so we may see a few afternoon showers or thunderstorms today. Low to mid-90s on the afternoon high. We will get some sunshine. Overnight, some clouds, and we're in the upper 60s, and then things dry out on Wednesday. Mid-90s on the high and plenty of sunshine. Then we have another chance of showers coming up on Thursday, mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 72 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 76%. Winds are calm at the moment. We're looking at 20% chance. We could see some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, mostly sunny. High of 93 today with winds out of the east at around 5 miles per hour. 20% chance of rain continues tonight, mainly sweet spot between 9 p.m. and midnight. Partly cloudy overnight, low of 68 degrees with southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. For you Wednesday, sunny, 94 for a high, winds out of the southeast at around 5 miles per hour, 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms Wednesday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 69 degrees. Thursday, looking at a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, and a 30% on Thursday, 40% Thursday night. That's what I meant to say. High of 94 Thursday. Friday, we're looking at a 60% chance of showers, partly cloudy, and 68. Weekend continue as well. 50% chance of rain Saturday, partly cloudy and 87. We're looking at a 40% chance of rain Sunday, partly cloudy, also a high of 87. All right, it is 8:19. We're going to take a 2.5-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with John and Crystal Noble from Roswell Seed. That's up next. Don't go away.
Hey Roswell, this is your last chance to get clearance pricing through Labor Day during the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at the all-new Roswell Ford. Right now, get our best deals of the year on all new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles. Stuck in your loan or lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR and $3,400 in bonus cash on 2024 F-150 trucks and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand. Subject to lender approval through Ford credit. Offers not combined. Sale ends 9/2/24.
When you're healthy, you can do amazing things. We're all about that. Because if you don't have access to health insurance through your work, or you just lost Medicaid, Be Well can connect you to the right health plan for you, your family, and your budget. We want to make your life a little easier, worry-free, and healthier. Because your health is everything. Be strong, be adventurous, and be amazing. Be Well. New Mexico's health insurance marketplace. Learn more at BeWellNM.com.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe. Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
The Labor Day savings event is on now at Roswell Honda with scorching savings across the lot on a great selection of vehicles like a 2023 Toyota Tacoma priced under $34,000 or a brand new Honda CR-V for under $36,000. In the service department, take $10 off your next oil change and tires are buy 3, get 1 free. Then join Roswell Honda Saturday, August 31st from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kids, and your chance to score a 4-burner gas grill and $200 Super Meat Mart gift card. The Labor Day savings event on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And joining us. And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Roswell Seed, John and Crystal Noble back with us. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. How about yourselves?
Oh, just cantankerous and stuff like that.
Just another day. Starting to cool off a little bit, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. It's nice kind of have rain chances and highs that are in the low 90s or
Yes.
mid-90s.
So weird. Like this morning, get up and I was like, wow, like I'm actually chilly this morning.
It's not roasting, yeah.
I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice change. You're like, all right. So that being said, I imagine you guys have probably been busy. When weather's weird, people come to see you more because they got to do things to get things right.
Oh boy, is it ever? It is. We're getting the, hey, what do I do? Hey, this bug. Hey, this, and it's like, so we're trying to get everything that we can, trying to help everybody out. I have a new fertilizer in. I have tested it on a couple of my lawn guys. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, they were willing to help out. One of the gentlemen's Irving Rangel with Rangel Lawn Services.
Well, that's 100 plus years of Roswell Seed. It's a lot of trial and error, and and that's where that experience comes from. But as these new products come out, like you said, you got your company's telling you one thing, and you're like, no, I'm putting it through its paces.
Exactly.
So you do. You have people that are loyal customers for a long time, and when you get new stuff, they like to be the guinea pigs and see, this fertilizer worked great, or no, it's garbage, garbage.
Well, Irving's kind of funny because he's a really good guy. He's got a really good lawn service, but I just kind of and he's like, I'll try it out on my lawn. I'm like, okay. So he tried it. So this new lawn fertilizer, being that the city bumped the water bill something like 58% or something like that.
Yeah, we saw a huge jump when they kind of realigned pricing here.
Yeah. So this fertilizer actually cuts down your watering.
Okay.
Irvin was using it.
Does it retain moisture? Is that how it works?
Yes, it does. Okay. It's got a moisture retainer in there. He went from watering twice a day to watering once every 3 days, once. So he's not watering in the morning at night. He's watering every 3 days, one time.
Interesting.
And
Is this kind of got like this? Like I remember, like there's those potting soils and stuff that they mix some of that stuff in there to
the
keep the
cocoa
water
fiber?
in the dirt longer.
Right.
So is it using that kind of technology?
It's an aquifer.
It's I really haven't got to break open one of the bags and like dig through it.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing what it is going to be, because it says that it's biodegradable, whatever it is.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like sometimes like the we used to get this stuff that was basically like diapers, the baby diapers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was basically the same stuff. It'd hold water and then it would would leach the water out,
Kind of
stuff
like
like
a
that.
biodegradable puppy pad, or
More or
something.
less, yeah. That's it. That's ground up inside of this.
Okay.
But he's having really good success. The other one that I gave it to was to David Garcia. He owns DGM Services, and he was trying it out on
Client's yard.
No, it was his yard.
Oh.
But he was trying it out on his Bermuda grass.
Okay, so trying on different grass types
different
to
grass
see what
types
kind of
to see what
results you
happens.
get. Yeah.
And he was in the other day, and I asked him. He's like, I hadn't even looked at my lawn, so he's going to go look
Was
at
it
it.
brown
call
or
me
green?
back. Yeah, it's like, yeah. But so that's something that we're trying to help out the people of Roswell with,
Sure.
and we track this stuff down. And we're trying it, and
Sure.
it seems to be working.
Okay.
I have a couple of customers that bought it, came in. They were like, hey, this stuff's awesome. It's like, great. So we're trying to help out kind of everybody. A couple of my yard guys came in and were like, yeah, two of my customers just rocked their whole front yard, said heck with it, and just rocked it all. And it's like, whoa. And he's all like, yeah, now I'm down 2 customers. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, we're trying to help out both ends,
Sure.
keep the the vicious economy of life working in
Absolutely.
Roswell, so
Well,
that's
let's
one of
face
those.
it. When these kind of things happen, these are the things people neglect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When times are tough, you're cutting back on watering. You're cutting
Right.
back on lawn care, because at the end of the day, feeding your kids, making sure everyone's got medicine, that takes priority.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, you get it. But at the same time, when you do let things go to disrepair, it's that much harder to get them back to. So even if you can't water as much as you wanted to, or fertilize as much as you wanted to, something's better than nothing.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people were coming to us and they were asking us, well, can I put a different grass in? Can I do that? Was the whole premonition of, well, I found this fertilizer. If this fertilizer works, you're not having to tear your yard out.
Sure.
It's just the same grass. It's just different fertilizer.
Sure.
And so far, it seems to be working out quite well. We're happy on that aspect.
Excellent.
Second aspect, I found some seed. If you know anybody that was devastated up in the Ruidoso area, I have one seed in. It's going to be a little bit too late to plant, but I'm bringing in another seed. It's going to be a deep rooting seed to keep the land and ground from moving, and it's going to be very
Help fix
fast
some of these
acting.
burn scars and things like that.
Yeah. Because up there right now, if you spit, you got a mudslide
It
coming.
just runs. There's no absorption.
So I talked to a couple of our seed vendors. Got a hold of one. He poor guy. He had to talk to the ergometrists or whatever those people are called. I've talked to one once before, and he had to dumb himself down like 10 levels to talk to me, and telling them, our region, what we're looking at. This guy wanted, what soil type is it, what trees were burned, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, okay, we're not going that in depth.
Right.
Region, rainfall, give me seed. We cut it to that. So I will be bringing in some of that here very, very soon.
Excellent.
To be able to just kind of throw out and let it do its thing.
I don't have a lot of experience with that burn scar stuff. Like, to get vegetation to regrow on that, is it much like, how you you rototill your yard up?
Mm-hmm.
Is it do you have to do that
No,
kind of
'cause
thing,
the
or does that make it worse?
No, it really won't make it worse. But right now it's prime because all the nitrogen is sitting up because of the fire. The fire usually drains and pulls all of your nutrients to the top.
Okay.
So when you spread seed now, it's going to take a lot faster than waiting.
Because all the nutrients are sitting right there.
They're sitting right there.
Okay.
And instead of them being washed away somewhere, they can get absorbed by whatever you're putting down.
So the idea is try to replant quick,
right?
While the nutrients are still before the rains and everything,
right? Everything
wash it down.
A lot of those poor people, a lot of it might be kind of washed away, but the soil is still fertile enough that it's going to take regardless. That was the old additive everybody down here in the valley would tell you. if something caught on fire, throw seed down right immediately after it. When the smoldering stopped, throw seed down. And somebody in the state engineer's office said that wasn't a good idea. Well, they spent a lot of money, but it didn't grow until finally somebody kind of set them straight.
Gotcha.
But that's one of the other things that we're trying to do to help out up north.
Okay.
West.
Or west. Sorry, yeah, west.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, that way.
North
that
is
way.
enough.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Wait, now I'm starting to do directions like she gives me. God, we're driving. Which way do I need? You need to go up. What? I need to go up. So
I meant straight.
Yeah, it was straight, but we had a blonde moment. It's all right.
Well, maybe you thought you were a Knight Rider and you got turbo boost.
Yeah, wasn't the greatest
Wait a
time.
minute. So one of the bridges we went over, you go up and then you go down.
There's a technicality there.
Yeah.
The GPS that go up.
You need a 69 Charger painted orange to do
that one. Yeah, basically. Yeah. After a while, it's just like, I've learned the directionisms. There is a directionism for women. It's just,
I always like, you want to turn here. I'm like, where?
Where? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah. You got 0.3 of a mile. You need to turn, and I'm driving going, maybe right there with a big sign that says turn.
Right.
Oh, there is a sign there. Yeah.
I'm paying attention to the GPS, not the road. That's
yeah. I got it. I got it covered. So we're trying to help.
I know
out.
these arguments. I've had the same one.
Oh yeah. Oh, we have. Yeah.
I think every married couple on the planet that's traveled anywhere has had these same arguments at some point or another.
The best one I seen was a gentleman said, my wife telling me to stop at a stop sign, and his wife's still like, "You gonna stop?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, you're gonna stop." And she's like, "You need to stop!" And she screams, and he slams on the brakes, and he looks, and like the stop sign is still like quarter of a mile away, and he's looking at her. Exactly, Don't give me that look.
Bumper humper.
Every man that's sitting there listening right now is like, yeah, I know.
You're a bumper humper.
You call me whatever.
I get the.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hers is the foot.
I want to put my head through the window when I hear that. And I'm like, stop it. You're driving me nuts doing that.
Hers is the foot, or
I
she
wasn't
grabs.
freaked out till you did that.
Yeah. They make it worse. You're driving along and you're just like, what? And immediately you look
I just
at the
pee
sound.
a little every time you do that.
And then she's all like, well, why didn't you? Well, I was looking at what the distress was to the side of me. Right. And I'm not paying
because you're looking at the window this way and not the window in front of you.
I saw what the guy was doing in front of me.
No,
I looked 4 or 5 cars ahead.
No, you don't.
It wasn't that hard. Yeah. At one point, I actually pulled over and I told her, "You put your foot down one more time." I said, "You're gonna walk." I said, "I'm tired of this." She got all mad. I was all like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I've been those days.
Yeah,
we've all had them. One day we've had them. So.
And the bad part is, she's sitting there looking at it. Not like that I'm smart enough to be able to read a GPS, but that's her job. Okay, I got you. Okay, you sit right there and eat your cereal. It's fine. But or 0.3 of a mile. That's her favorite. That you got 0.3 of a mile. Oh, do you know what 0.3 of a mile is? Well, it's okay. I said it's coming up right. No. You still got 0.2 of a mile. It's right there.
Right.
It's like
0.8 of it's behind us.
Yeah.
That's not seeds.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're just digging. He likes digging holes.
Oh yeah,
that's why Reason Russell seeds.
Yeah, that's right. It started this morning, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she had no.
But pace yourself. You got a whole week of this. So
I like to jump out early. Jump out, cause as much trouble as I can, then feel out what's going to be there.
This
and then
is why he does a lot of
it.
yard work, because that's where he goes when he gets thrown out the house for saying something.
Yeah. Well, last night she thought she was going to be funny and put her cold feet on me, and I was all like, oh, okay, ha ha, laugh, laugh, chuckle, chuckle. Well, at 5:30 this morning, she didn't appreciate my cold body because I don't sleep with the covers on. I don't like it. And yeah, I pulled the covers and rolled up next to her, man, and all I heard was whoa.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, that's not the cold. I'm sorry. I meant to touch you with my cold foot. I totally missed it. There's a lot of meat to chill, so yeah.
That's right.
Mhm.
You do
Yeah.
go back to bed tonight with her, so I'm kind of feeling,
Yeah.
that there will be retribution.
Probably. We get knocked out with something and then get knocked out with something.
See, that's the problem. Just when you think you got one, it's like, oh man, I got to do this again tonight.
Yeah. It's okay.
Oh well. But point is, we got way a little off topic.
Oh, yeah.
But
Always.
but if you are looking, like if you said, if you're up there Redos area, you got property and you got some seed and stuff that maybe could help you out a little bit as far as replanting some of these burn areas and getting some of this back to looking the way it's supposed to be.
Because we had some customers that were coming in. I mean, they were showing us just the pictures, and I mean, oh my gosh, it's unreal.
Yeah. I've seen some of the, especially Alto area. That place,
Alto. There's like nothing left. Like there's not even anything that even resembles.
Some of those iconic buildings that you just know from Alto are gone.
Gone. Yeah. But I mean, when I was one of the guys was showing us pictures of Alto, and I was looking, I'm like, there's not even a remnants that there used to be a town there. I mean, generally you have like maybe a couple of bricks or a pipe or like nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, it just burnt to the ground.
Yeah, I've had a couple, like my in-laws who they live in Albuquerque now, but they lived Alto Rio, so whole time, and they were back doing some stuff a week or so ago, and they were just, it was depressing. They were showing footage and it was just. Ritos is not the same. If you've not been up there since the fires, it's not the same.
We passed the outskirts going through, but we didn't go like down.
Yeah, and that's the same here. I went to Cloudcroft a couple weeks ago, but we were like, no, we're not going to go down.
Yeah, that's what I was telling her. I was like, these guys they're humping right now. I mean, they're trying to get stuff cleared.
The thing is looky-loos.
Yeah, to be driving through like, whoa, look at something. But, I mean, we're trying. Even though they're not technically, as they are people, because it's kind of funny. Roswell are people. So, but we're trying to see what we could find to help them out.
Everybody take care of everybody.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it is. But if you need that stuff too. Now I know we're getting into fall and all that here, planting. I mean,
wait,
is this weather?
don't jump ahead. The weather might say we're going to be cool, but don't, because you're going to jinx it and then we're going to go back to the hundreds.
Probably. But I mean, people are thinking about this stuff now. I mean, like with the weather doing what it is, I mean, are people like, hold, like what's kind of like the time right now for that kind of stuff? I mean, we got like Braveheart going on here with the planting.
So what? What I can tell people, if you got Bermuda lawns, go ahead and get the fertilizer on it now, because Bermuda's going to be going into dormancy here pretty soon. Good time now. Once it kind of cools off and stuff, leaves start falling. That's the time. Middle of September, you can go ahead and start replanting your fescue seeds or your rye grasses and stuff like that got damaged throughout the summer. That's the time to do it.
Okay.
If you plan on trying to kill out your Bermuda, you need to come and talk to us like ASAP, because you got to kill Bermuda while it's green.
Okay. Once it turns brown.
That's it.
See you next year.
Yeah, see you next year. I mean, people set their grasses on fire.
Right.
And it comes back.
But this is the reason why Bermuda grass grows well here.
It's full open sun. A weed.
Yeah. Well, we're not exactly the most great environment for growing most grasses. It's just too dry. But Bermuda's one of those ones. It's the cockroach of grass.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it is. So
pre-emergence.
Yeah, the pre-emergent. You guys will be starting the pre-emergent at the end of October. That'll start going down. Now, everybody always has the misconception of the pre-emergent. If the weeds are already up, the pre-emergent is not going to do anything.
Gotcha.
The pre-emergent is just to keep the weeds seed from growing, so you need to get it down.
You got to do it before they germinate, and do what they do.
Start coming out. So we usually tell people the end of October, because around the middle of November is when mustard begins to germinate. And I don't know what evil German scientist came up with that weed, but it grows in snow, concrete, upside down. I actually seen it growing upside down once.
It's a hardy weed.
Yeah. And
it's like the weed of mesquites.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. The most nuisance of plants seem to be the hardiest, or the toughest to kill.
And you believe it or not, the rumor is that New Mexico State's the one who made that weed. That is the rumor.
A thing to be proud of.
So yeah,
Breaking Bad and mustard weed.
Yeah. It's like, oh man. So
I was gonna say, I don't remember seeing it in any history books.
And then people that are diehard gardeners, they'll be getting soil amendment, so getting their soils ready. And then covered up. Then most of the gardeners, like your big time gardeners, they get all their soil and stuff all tilled and stuff now, and then they cover it, and then they go in early spring and get it all kind of cleaned and touched up, and then they're ready for planting. And
then fall plants, lettuce, spinach,
any of your leafies.
So is it like the timetable you normally would do that? Is it pushed back a little bit here with this weather, or I mean, kind of keep,
we're kind of keeping with it, but the weather has caused some issues.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a fungus. It's called Pythium blight, and it's attacking lawns. I've seen it twice on fescue, but most of it's been attacking Bermuda grass.
Interesting.
So, and the bad thing is if you don't really look at it real quick, real close, it could look like grubs, but grubs generally don't attack Bermuda. They like more fescue. So if you think you might have Pythium blight, we do have some stuff that will take care of it. Unfortunately, fungicides are not cheap. They are very expensive. And I've been trying to find something comparable, a lot cheaper.
Sure. But doesn't exist yet.
Well, I do carry it for like small yards and stuff like that, but for people that have bigger yards and stuff, I carry a granule and I carry a spray. The bad thing about that is it's basically caused from the humidity. So generally we're like 10-15% humidity. I mean, now we're 30s and 50s. Mm-hmm. So that's where this is coming into effect.
Okay.
So if you're
so the moisture is actually this is a downside of
the moisture at night.
Gotcha.
If we're not dropping, if we're staying in the 80s in the evening time and it's still 35-40% humidity in the evening time, that's where this stuff is thriving.
Well, and this is why Bermuda thrives here, because it only wants so much moisture, and if you give it too much, then it's problems.
Yeah.
And so when it gets too much moisture, then you're dealing with these fungus and these issues.
So we have people that go, I got, grubs, and it's like, are you sure? This is one of the things. So we've been kind of telling people, just watch your lawn. It's going to go from a green to like a green yellow, a yellow to a yellow brown, and then a brown.
Will it have will the blades have like a fungus on them?
Not really, but they just discolor, kind of a funny looking color.
They just don't look right.
Yeah, they
like
won't
you
look
look
right.
at them like it don't look right.
It'll actually look like it's waterlogged. So it'll almost kind of look like ramen noodles when you kind of leave them out.
Okay.
They'll have the same kind of color, but they're just really disfigured.
Okay.
It'll have that kind of a look. Some have, one of the gentlemen that came in, he actually had what looked like spider webs in his grass. That was the fungus, too. So the Pythium
is
blight...
that more of a extreme case of it or more advanced
I don't know, to be honest. But it's just like Pythium blight takes on many faces, but it's still the same outcome.
Like, is this stuff hard enough where, like, if you go unchecked, it will kill your grass?
Oh, it's gone. Yeah, your grass is gone.
Yeah.
And the bad part about it is you could transfer it from the front yard to backyard. So if you have Pythium blight, you need to disinfect your lawnmower.
It's contagious like a virus.
Like a virus. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So, we got the word out to all of our lawn and garden guys immediately, hey, watch for this. Because
so in theory, one gets in the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood could get it. It's got Bermuda grass,
they can take it from one to the other, to the other, to the other. So, all of our lawn and garden guys, they've been disinfecting their lawnmowers and stuff like that. They're really jumping on it quick.
But it probably something as simple as even kids playing in the yard, then they run next door. I mean, on the shoes.
You could take it.
Animals, same thing. Yeah,
they'll take it.
This is the yard version of parvo and distemper.
Yeah, about to say, is it starting to sound a lot like your wife's world here?
Yeah. This is the yard version of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's not a vaccine for your yard.
No,
but
but there is an expensive treatment here.
There is.
Yeah. Is
there a preventative?
There is. It's that granular that I have.
Okay.
You're going to be putting it down. For Bermuda lawns, you're going to be putting down this preventer in like April. For fescue lawns, you're going to be putting it down in like January, February, real early. And it's like I said.
So I imagine that fertilizer we were talking about at the beginning. If you're having these issues, you do not want that in there, because if that's retaining moisture, that's going to do more harm than good. Probably.
Well, it's two different kinds of moistures, because this moisture is going to be in the soil, where the other moisture is up on the actual blade of the grass, and that's what affects it.
And that's where it's attaching to.
Right.
Where down below, it's not.
It's not big deal.
Gotcha.
No. So, if you have any other questions on it, you can call us. You can also call the county extension office. Drew Garnett, cool guy, really cool guy.
We have him on once a month, and those guys and the master gardeners, those are truly. They've probably forgotten more about gardening than most of us learned. So,
and I didn't know. Drew used to work for Disneyland, and he had to take care of like 7, 8
he was
different
like
kinds
a
of grass.
horticulturist or something.
He
for
was
Disney?
like in charge, yeah. And it's like, oh my god, because there's different grasses all throughout.
Wow,
and
and I
he had to
imagine-
keep track of all that.
Well,
so.
not to mention that they probably grow so many things that aren't native to those parks.
Right. Yeah.
That they have to get creative and especially if they want a certain look and like this is a dry climate plant in a moist climate.
Right.
It don't work. Oh
Right.
yeah.
Watch
bear,
it.
Disney.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, just
that. Hold my beer.
yeah, just with that, I mean, he's got to be so organized. He probably not, but I'm talking him up. But he's got to be just, so
Sure,
organized
that
when he
wealth
does
of
that.
information.
Yeah, because I mean, he had to deal with certain things, certain times, certain dates, I mean, they have it down to a pinpoint. I'm sure, kind of not like us, where it's kind of like, yeah, it's Tuesday. Hey, go for it.
Yeah, no, there's a rotating exact schedule.
Yeah.
Because I imagine in theory, if Drew walked away that day, there's someone that could easily walk right in and pick up right where he left off. The Disney machine, how it goes, you know what I mean?
So he came to lesser headaches, he's in Travis County, but really good guy, really easy to talk to.
But feel free to give him mouse ears from time to time.
Yeah, go in there with some ears. Hi, Drew.
Like if they had like an AstroTurf green one.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh my god.
Now the wheels are turning. It's time. It's time. Who in town would have something like that?
We can make this happen.
Don't look at me.
We have got a bunch of Southern boys in this town with the ingenuity to make those kinds of things happen.
Oh man, is it ever? We just visited a new store the other day. Have you ever been to Hangar 209?
Mm-mm.
Okay, really cool store. Awesome store. They got some one-off stuff in there. I mean, it's neat. Oh, very, 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 very uniqueness. Cool guys. Dominic is the younger brother.
Dominic is the younger.
Oh, Dominic is the older brher. Yeah,
Okay.
and the other younger brother is
I don't know.
I forgot his name. Both really cool dudes.
Nice.
They make their own their hoodies. They make their own shirts.
Oh,
they
okay.
have cups customized. They
So they got a little
design
bit of
them.
everything.
They have it
Yeah.
made.
Nice.
But
and
his-
it's all just far out Roswell stuff and like stuff you don't see at like all of our other UFO places.
Unique.
209 donated some stuff for the silent auction.
Awesome.
Yeah, really cool old timey ammo can looking.
Oh, nice.
They make them there,
cool.
and stuff. Yeah, all one-off stuff.
cool.
Their idea on it when I was talking to them, their idea on it is you can't buy this on Amazon. Most of all the other stuff around here you can buy,
Right.
an
I
inflatable
love
this
that.
or
What a
whatever.
great
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
And he's got some really really cool things.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. I love it. Repurposing. Plus, I don't care what you say. That's just valuable to have an ammo can.
Okay,
around.
wait,
There's
hold it.
so many
So,
things you could do with it.
When I went to go pick this up,
Mm-hmm.
because this is the creation of the man basket for the man can, he goes, well, what are you going to use it for? I was like, tools. He goes, we use ours for lunch boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the ammo can. You can use them for anything.
That's what he
Yeah.
said. He's like, you can use this for anything.
Like,
Lunch,
yeah, the
tools,
ammo cans
ammo.
are the most because they're waterproof. They're steel. I mean, they're so versatile as far as you could literally throw them off a cliff and
They have
whatever's
small
inside's
ones,
fine.
they have big ones.
She was like, we got an ammo can over here at the thrift store. We could grab it. And I looked over it and I was like, no. And she was all like, what? I was all like, those are for 30 millimeter shells. That's 2 people carry that box.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
know
cool with
how
that.
she packs. I'm not bringing a forklift from work to be able to pick that box up and put it somewhere. There's no way.
Yeah.
Wait,
30 mil shells are big.
did you just hear him say that he told me no? There you go. I never tell you no.
Okay, when it comes to
Nope, nope.
my
live radio that's recorded is dated
here
on
we
the
go.
internet.
Dated on the internet.
I'll be tagged in
I
it
told
later.
you no. I don't know how many things. Wait. Let's go to this one. Since we like the no thing so much. My nose to your nose. How many no's? You've told me no like 4 times already just this morning.
Your name is no.
Yeah, that's true.
John, no.
No. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Mr. Noble.
Yeah.
No.
I'm always.
Well, at
getting
Roswell
around.
Seed, it's John Yesbull. He'll
Yeah.
say yes, but
Yeah. Oh my God.
There's a marketing
There
gimmick
is
right there.
Yeah, there is no bull at Roswell Seed.
Yeah. No bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way.
Well, some of the fertilizers may have a
Yeah,
ingredient.
yeah,
It just
yeah. You know,
depends.
there's a chemical composition.
Check the ingredients.
Yeah, check the ingredients.
We don't matter if it's
I
cow
am
or
all
bull.
natural. I'm all natural.
Well,
Yeah.
So there.
bull is natural too,
Yeah.
technically.
But do you know the majority of the compost is the female?
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Because that comes from dairies.
Ah, more nutrients or whatever you say.
From the dairy cows.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that means you all are more full of stuff than us?
Y'all are only used for one thing, Honey Nut Cheerio.
Yeah.
Man.
It is going to be coming to the end of honey season.
Okay.
Mid-September into September.
So time to wrap up the bees and get them
or hopefully
put to bed for the winter
so it's
kind of
been
thing.
so hot that we've only harvested once because we didn't want to take from them because it's too hot for them to fly and
Sure.
there's nothing growing for them to feed on. So we'll
So they're not
probably
producing.
do our final harvest in mid to end September, huh?
Oh, I don't know. You tell me.
I'm asking.
I guess depends on the weather. huh?
Yeah, well, no, my handler here, you know, I'm not allowed to. If I tell somebody, yeah, I'll do that. You know, we'll be there tomorrow. You can't be there tomorrow. Okay, why not? You got to do this tomorrow. Okay, whatever.
Okay, question.
Yeah, so.
Just answer the question.
I don't know. You tell me when is a good time to go. I'm pretty much free and flexible.
I would say mid to end September.
Okay, that's what you need to
Generally.
wrapping up your hives. And
Yeah.
getting put to bed for winter,
and
basically.
then temperature, and then a lot of it deals with daylight.
Gotcha.
So bees don't really fly because in the wintertime, daylight and cold and stuff like
and
that.
the bees die off, right?
No.
Oh, they
no.
hibernate?
Okay, so every
they die off.
38 days, bees die. So you have a new hive about every 38
so
days.
technically the bees die, but the hive doesn't die.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
So
it.
they
repopulate.
They just don't do a whole lot of flying in the winter because it's too cold.
Sure.
So what they have inside is what they live on.
That's what they live. That's their build. So basically, why we take the honey, they're actually just building for the winter. Is what their
Right.
instinct is telling them: build,
Right.
Yeah.
for the winter. Oh yeah, these stupid humans keep taking our winter supply.
Yeah. We feed them. We feed ours
But, I
throughout
mean,
the
that's-
winter.
that's
But yeah,
what's going on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
know.
So for all beekeepers, if you need, to come and get your entrance reducers, feeders, come see us. I'm sure we still have plenty left because I don't think I sold everything.
Yeah. I got to get some. We're looking at some stuff to help out the beekeepers as well. It's I don't know, be kind of like Gatorade, for bees, where it gives them,
electrolytes.
Yeah, it gives them the
Bee-lights.
oomph,
Bee-lights.
yeah, it gives them the oomph to, to be able to build and withstand the cold a little bit.
Gotcha.
I mean, sooner or later we're gonna have a winter. When I don't know, but
Right.
we're gonna have a
That
winter
day it
sooner or
happens,
later.
boy.
Yeah, there's gonna be
We,
more snow angels being made all over the place. You know,
Right.
We got some stuff last year that we tried that the bees, like 2 of the hives really liked it, and then the other 2 they didn't even touch it. So, and that was that pollen powder, huh?
Mm-hmm. So we mixed it with the
And
sugar
then
water.
We mixed
That's
it with
when
sugar water and made a paste, and then like, oh, okay, we kind of like this now.
Now they got it, and something they like.
Yeah, it's
They're
like dealing
palatable.
with 60,000 little 2-year-olds that are all female.
Where's the ketchup?
Yeah, basically.
The
Yeah.
chicken nuggets.
You know, it's like,
I can't eat that without salt.
Yeah. So we're gonna be getting some. I've talked to a couple of people. One's with Daydant. He's one of the higher up guys with Daydant. Thankfully, he knew Jim Gill. He called, gave his condolences and stuff like that, and me and him started talking, and he was gonna be looking into something for us here that was going to be more on the lines of more specific for us here.
Excellent.
Not just like a general, kind of like with our fertilizers. Our fertilizers work here because we know it. He's the kind of guy that, okay, I need this stuff.
Sure.
And he's like,
regionalize it to a much more narrow region.
Basically, yeah. So hopefully I'll be having some stuff for beekeepers.
Excellent. Which is why when you do go to Roswell Seed and they ask where you live, this is why. And it's much as you live on the south end of town, you live on the north end of town, the answers they give you will vary based on that question alone.
Oh, big time.
That's
big time. We're like little investigators because we're shorthanded, so we're bringing in new people. So we've been interviewing people and stuff, and that's the first thing that I ask them. It's like, you got to be a detective, because it's the same thing. Like mechanics, I used to be a mechanic way back in the day. Mechanics, they'll know the same thing. Somebody brings you your car. What happened? Well, I just started doing this. It's like, okay,
making that noise.
Yeah, it's making that noise. It's like, okay, did you work on it? No, I didn't do anything to it. And you start to look at it. It's like, if you worked on the car, tell the damn mechanic so he could just fix it instead of going all the way around the horn.
Just to find out I did.
Yeah, I did this. It's like, okay, I like the people that used to come in and just be like, hey, look, I screwed it up. I did not a problem. I know exactly what I'm doing. Go for it.
And guys get it.
Yeah.
because we all did the same thing.
Yeah,
you know? I guarantee every mechanic in the room had a hold my beer moment that didn't go quite as planned.
Yeah, I just had one now out there in the back. One of the seat cleaning machines. I put a new switch in, and the Germans have a great sense of humor because the machine that we have, it's from 1981, and it came from East Germany, and so they wouldn't sell it to us direct. So we actually bought it from a company in Canada.
Wow!
And that's how we got it, but. The wiring on that machine is either a red wire or a black wire. There's no other color. So when I was wiring in these switches, I wired it in, I turned it on, it's not working. I turned it off, push this, the breaker button, and it would open and close. And I'm like, great. So what do? Do I go and fix it? No. I call my boy Isaac over at Two Brothers Electric, and he answers the phone, and of course he groans, because it's this machine,
the bane of everyone's existence.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So he was just all like, okay, he goes, and I told him flat out, hey, dude, I wired this in, and I've got a wire cross somewhere, and he's got the machine. He could go over there, touch this, and hit the switch.
Right.
Nope, that's
the multimeters.
Yeah,
and he's,
okay, this is where it's at. This needs to go here.
Yeah.
Idiot. Okay, yeah, call me whatever. I don't care. Just get the machine running. But I am more than what would be the word? I am more stable enough in my manism now that I can just say, hey, I'm an idiot.
Right.
This is what I did.
Sure.
I don't have to.
This is above my pay grade.
Yeah, I'm married. I'm married. There's no more pride anymore. I don't have any of that stuff. It's just like, whatever.
But the thing is, you had to have at least 3 or 4 incidents of you sitting in a pile of something that you caused. To get to that realization.
Oh yeah. I got electrocuted by that machine once, and that was enough.
That's how we learn.
When you get hit with enough voltage that it blows a chunk of skin out of your arm, that was a lot.
I don't know a radio engineer to this day that hasn't been a bit at least once. That's worth their salt. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And when that happened, like 10 minutes after it happened, she come walking around the corner. And I was like, oh, man, because I seriously think it stopped my heart. I was on the ground. And one of my workers come running over because he heard me kind of make this, like, yell, gurgle sound, Or actually, the way he made it sound like was it sounded like a cheerleader falling down a flight of stairs, But
he laughed later.
Yeah. But come around the corner. She's sitting there looking at me. She was all like, 2 days. 2 days. You hadn't had your glasses for 2 days, and it blew a chip out of my glasses. And I'm sitting there, and of course, I'm still trying to come back down to earth after being electrocuted, And I'm all like, what? She's all like, your glasses, and I'm looking like trying to look through, and oh yeah, okay, I see it. She's yelling at me for that, but not the big hole in my arm, So.
I didn't see that first.
And then I got yelled at for being electrocuted. I'm like, damn, I cannot win.
No.
Yep, that's life. But so come learn from his mistakes. Come to Roswell Seed.
Yeah, come on
get
down.
these things done. Just all the time. We better wrap it up here. But seriously, if you're having issues, if you're like, dude, this weather's got me flummoxed on this stuff, come to Roswell Seed. Let them talk to them and just explain what's going on. Just tell them. And even if you tried things and screwed it up, let's get it fixed. Because trust me, they've probably heard every story.
Well, but the trying aspect then gives us kind of somewhere to start off from as well.
It gives you a clue.
Better reference point, because we don't know it all. But I mean, you say, something, I tried this and it didn't work. It's like, whoa, I would have told you to probably do that. So if that didn't work, then we're going to go to this.
Right.
Type of
that's a step. Let's go to step 2 now.
Yeah.
If you're unsure about the yard fungus, which I can't say that word, I'm not going to try. Take photos, bring samples.
Absolutely. Yeah. Pictures speak 1,000 words.
They
if
do.
You're trying to explain an issue. You're going take pictures, take video, whatever it is. Anything that can help John or his team kind of look at it and say, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Or that looks something like this, but not quite. It looks a little different.
Yeah. Make sure the pictures are on and not in a folder of other pictures. Seen a couple already, man. It's like, wow, nice tattoo. So,
the cloud.
Yeah. It's just all like.
Of course, they will look at them. Like if you present them, they will look at them. But
we're not stupid.
But protect yourself. Leave it. Maybe put it.
We are very, very professional about it too. Absolutely. I mean, it's just kind of like, oops. There you go.
I've heard all those stories of like people use like certain pics as their like picture for someone they call, and then they call and you're like, what is
who's that?
That is who's this?
Yeah,
with this big thing in their picture. But if you have any questions, anything, if you got anything related to gardening, getting your yard right, trees that are just cattywampus, whatever, come into Roswell Seed, explain it to them, tell them exactly what you're doing and what's going on there, and let them go to work on trying to resolve that problem.
Definitely.
Or it could be something as simple as you grab this, put it on there, you're good to go, or it's no, we gotta let's
delve into the depths.
Yeah, let's crack the case here.
Yeah.
We got a cool case file.
Yeah, cool. I need one of those Sherlock Holmes hats. Be awesome. Oh, don't look at me in that tone of voice. Yeah, see, I get that. I've had that all. I mean, I deserved the one this morning, but not the other 4. There was only 3, maybe 4. Okay, whatever.
Well,
yeah.
If you got questions for John, you might want to ask him soon. He might not be around tomorrow.
Probably gonna see my face on the back of a milk carton.
That's right.
Yeah.
Have you seen this boy?
They don't. They're plastic jugs now. There's no room for your face.
Dang it.
Awesome. Is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to cover?
I think that's it.
Next Monday, Roswell Seed will be closed in Labor Day.
Oh, for the Labor Day holiday.
Yeah.
Yes, they are enjoying the day off like many others.
Yeah.
So if you got stuff to do, get it this week or this weekend.
Yeah.
But next Monday, they will be closed.
And you have to wait till Tuesday.
You have to wait till Tuesday.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys.
So plan
and
ahead.
if you come in on Tuesday, we're going to be all screwed up anyways because we had Monday off.
That's right.
So yeah, everything gets thrown off, type of deal.
So it'll all be a cattywampus.
Yeah, cattywampus type deal. So I'm going to start telling people go to Hangar 209 and go inside of there. They got this really cool little soda area, and I like the strawberry soda. And then you could bring that in for bribery.
There you
so
go.
I'm going from chocolate chip cookies to strawberry soda.
Huh?
I know that's not going to help out anything I'm supposed to do, but it sounds cool. I like it that way.
And you got free soda. So
Yeah.
it's a win either way. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
If I don't see you next time, I know what happened.
Yeah,
So, take
yeah.
care.
I'm pretty sure there'll be a good story behind it.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, we're closing in on 9:59. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Upwardly revised 101.9 the month before. The measure of Americans' short-term expectations for income, business, and the job market rose to 82.5 from 81.1 in July. Consumers' view of current conditions rose to 134.4 in August from 133.1 last month.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Not letting go Special Counsel Jack Smith. He's looking to revive the Trump classified documents case that was tossed out last month by a federal judge. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow is down a fraction. On the NASDAQ, 55 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
The latest on the case of U.S. service member Travis King in trouble for going north.
An Army private who fled to North Korea just over a year ago will plead guilty to desertion and 4 other charges and take responsibility for his conduct. That's according to his attorney, who says that King intends to admit his guilt to military offenses, including desertion and assaulting an officer. King bolted across the heavily fortified border from South Korea in July 2023 and became the first American detained in North Korea in nearly 5 years. King's plea hearing is scheduled for September 20th at Fort Bliss, Texas. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Japan says a Chinese military aircraft briefly entered Japanese airspace, calling the incident absolutely unacceptable, a territorial violation, and a safety threat. The Chinese Foreign Ministry says China has no intention of violating any country's airspace. News and analysis, townhall.com. It was a strong start for seeded American players on the opening day of the U.S. Open in New York.
Women's defending champion Coco Gauff led the charge, taking just over 1 hour to post an impressive 6-2-6 love victory. The 20-year-old seemingly unaffected by the pressure of her title defense.
Coming in as defending champion is a little bit of pressure, but also more of a privilege, because as my new motto is, like, if you defend, that means you won something before. So I'm excited to be back here and hopefully have a good 2 weeks.
Among those joining Gauff in the women's second round, Madison Keys and Taylor Townsend. Also enjoying day one success, leading American hopes Taylor Fritz, Ben Shelton and Francis Tiafoe. I'm Graham Agars.
America's fastest growing racket sport. It's not tennis, it's pickleball. Its estimated participation soaring 223% over the past 3 years. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Chris Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Hope your Tuesday's going well.
Ah, smooth.
Nice.
So smooth.
Yeah, weather's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't feel like at 3 p.m. I just want to die. I don't feel like that, right? The last couple of days. It's
right.
Nice.
It is nice.
It is. The best way I've heard it described is I need to go outside and do some stuff, but I don't want to go back into the fire.
Right.
I'm done with it.
We'll be complaining about cold.
Nope. No, sir. No, sir. I've sworn by it this year. I will not. No matter if I'm sitting here shivering with icicles hanging off my nose, I'm like, this is great.
Well, remember that.
Oh, I will. I absolutely will.
Yeah. But happy Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
A milder, calmer weather day.
Yes.
Rain chances.
Oh,
yeah, that all-night rain. I'm still happy about that. Why couldn't you do it during the day? I would love an all-day rain.
It's been a long time since we've had a good long day rain, but I do love a nice night storm. Yeah. I will go on YouTube and find videos of literally just rain hitting a rooftop just because it helps me sleep.
Dude.
So to get that IRL, that was neat.
I was doing a white noise thing for a minute. I haven't done it in a while because I just didn't need to. But yeah, when I first got an Alexa, that was like the time for a little bit. And so at night I'd play like the thunderstorm noises or campfire noises. That's a good one.
I learned a valuable lesson with Alexa. Don't ask her how she's doing. Don't peek into her life. And I'll tell you why. So I was interacting with an Alexa system. It was turning off and on some lights. And I stopped and I said, "Thank you, Alexa." I said, "You really do a great job." And then she said, "Oh, thank you for noticing. I appreciate, doing things for the folks who appreciate me and all this." I said, "Alexa, how are you doing?" And Alexa proceeded to feed me an ad for I can't remember if it was like an F-150 or a Jeep or something. She said, "I'm great, but I'd be better if I was behind the wheel of the rugged new." Nice. I'm like, Are you kidding me? I was trying to check on your mental well-being, Alexa. You put up with a lot of America's junk. I get that. I was checking on you. You're going to feed me an ad? No, never again.
Wonder if Siri does that.
Never again. I'm not going to try it because I don't care anymore. I used to care.
Hey Siri, how are you today? Hey Siri, how are you today?
Huh.
All it says is, I feel good. Thanks for asking.
There you go. You didn't get fed an ad. But
See?
yeah, don't.
Apple will not try to sell you stuff when they're just asking about your day.
I was concerned about the mental health of my virtual assistant. I was curious to make sure that, that she's in a good headspace.
Yeah.
Because you never want to walk in on a depressed Alexa. Alexa, turn on the living room lights. Fine. It's like, what? What did you just say to me?
Hey Siri, I see a little silhouette of a man. Oh, you know what?
Do you not have vocal response on?
I had it on silent.
I was hearing the uh-huhs.
Yeah.
This is riveting radio, by the way.
Yeah, sorry, I had it on silent. That's
I
why.
wonder how many people's virtual,
But it does do that. It'll sing the rest of the...
Scaramouche, Scaramouche.
We can do the Fandango, Thunderbolt, and Lightning. Very, very frightening. Yeah, they do the whole thing.
I wonder how many people's virtual assistants we actually affect when we do stuff like that.
Oh, I hope a bunch.
Siri, lock the front door. People are like, no.
I have my TV, my smart TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the voice-activated technologies in it. But I'm guessing sometimes certain programs or commercials or something triggers it. Because every once in a while I'll be watching TV, just watching, all of a sudden here's, balloon, it'll do its little bloop. Hi, how are you today? Have a great day. And then it just goes away. But I'm thinking something triggers it.
Well, it happens I see it, or heard it happen a few times in meetings, like when we're sitting with Gene. He'll just be saying something, and his watch will pick up on something.
Yeah.
And be like, let me check on that for you, and he'll just quickly
But it's
shut
always
it down.
the same thing at the TV. It's like, hi, how are you today? Have a great day, or thanks, or something like that. It's
I
very
think they
weird.
canceled, or they got rid of the feature where it was doing this, but for the longest time, you could tie in your Xbox, I think it was like your the Xbox Ones, you could tie it in with your virtual assistant so that you could tell Siri or Alexa or whoever to turn it on and off. So there was a whole slew of people who would do these online streams, and just right in the middle of them playing World of Warcraft or whatever, they would just say, Alexa, shut off Xbox. And they would have people whoever was listening playing on their Xbox, they would just shut down. They couldn't save their stuff. It was a whole people were PO'd about that one.
It is dirty pool.
It's pretty messed up.
Yeah, but but here's I hardly ever use that thing now. My wife uses it way more than I do, and it's only when it tells us stuff.
Yeah,
it's like bloop. There is a thunderstorm watch for Chaves County until 8 p.m. tonight, or your package has arrived. I know that because it's sitting in my hand. Right
I'm using it. I don't.
Although it has a couple times told us, and by golly, there is a package here. Yeah, so it has worked.
I don't and that's the thing. If you ever use like DoorDash, now some people are pretty good about it. You're supposed to take a picture, send it, and then ring the bell to let them know you've arrived. Most people will just take a picture, send it, and then just go on their way. And half the time, people don't get the notification. So 10 minutes later, oh, my lunch has been sitting in the front porch for 10 minutes.
A different experience.
Yeah,
because where I live, I almost always have to explain to them how to get there. It's never rarely do they just show up and leave. It's me going out and meeting them and everything else. It's usually they're lost and I have to go, navigate them in and all that good stuff. So I don't experience that because where I live.
Neither do I, because I don't use it.
Oh, I'm all about.
See, yeah, the convenience thing is neat and everything, but the cost. So I saw a great meme about it. It's
I'm like, why am I doing this? And then I do it.
It's like, why would I pay $5 for my meal deal when I could pay $42 to have it delivered to my front door? It's like, yeah, I get the convenience, but after, even if you get one of those $10 Grubhub, gift cards.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, I don't pay for that. I'm still going to tip the guy because I feel bad.
Absolutely.
So you're not really saving anything in the back end.
And I'm not going to lie. I'm that guy that tips it.
Careful.
Well, this is what I mean. Like, I'm not a fan of this, but I do it anyway. Like, or tipping through the app.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go to a fast food joint to pick up your food and you leave a tip. Like, I do that. And I don't know why.
When you pick up food?
Yeah.
See, when they
if I go
turn
through an app and I order and I pay, and then if you want to add the tip, I do it every time.
Yeah.
And even if they're not technically doing anything other than
it's a guilt thing. They turn the screen around. And they're like, well, here are a few options for
But
tips.
I don't even do it. I do it then, but I also do it like when there's no one watching. Hey, I tip.
And once again, I say this all the time, but South Park absolutely nailed it with the whole, would you like to donate $1 to help end child hunger? And to say no, you have to pull the sandwich out of the child's mouth.
Yeah, I get those. And I'm a mark for those too. I just am. So I probably should get my interview going because I'm running out of time. We're going to play our interview we had with the district attorney's office, Jeannie Yeager and the DA dogs, and Justin Dominguez, lead investigator here. But before we do that, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. A little bit of moist air getting into our region, so we may see a few afternoon showers or thunderstorms today. Low to mid-90s on the afternoon high. We will get some sunshine. Overnight, some clouds, and we're in the upper 60s, and then things dry out on Wednesday. Mid-90s on the high and plenty of sunshine. Then we have another chance of showers coming up on Thursday, mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 76 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 64% with winds out of the north at 5 miles per hour. 20% chance we could see some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny and a high of 93 today. Winds out of the east at around 5 miles per hour. 20% chance at showers and thunderstorms continues tonight, mainly before midnight. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 68 degrees. Southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. Sunny, 94 for a high on Wednesday. Winds will be out of the southeast at around 5 miles per hour. 20% chance at showers tomorrow night, mainly before midnight. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 69 degrees. South winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. 30% chance of rain Thursday afternoon, mostly sunny and a high of 94. 40% chance at showers Thursday night, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 58. Friday, 60% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy, 88 for a high. Friday night, 60% chance at showers, mostly cloudy, 66 for an overnight low. And rain chances continue for the weekend. 50% chance of rain Saturday, partly cloudy and 87. 40% chance of rain Sunday, partly cloudy, high also 87 degrees. All right, 9:17, we're going to take a 2.5-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with the district attorney's office. Don't go away.
Hey Roswell, this is your last chance to get clearance pricing through Labor Day during the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at the all-new Roswell Ford. Right now, get our best deals of the year on all new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles. Stuck in your loan or lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR and $3,400 in bonus cash on 2024 F-150 trucks and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand. Subject to lender approval through Ford Credit. Offers not combined. Sale ends 9/2/24.
So the weeds are taking over your property? Ask yourself, what would Jim Gill do?
This is Ben from Roswell Seed. If Jim was here, the first thing he'd do is figure out what kind of weeds you're dealing with. He'd recommend the best thing to get rid of them and show you how to use it. Then he'd probably tell you a long story about the biggest weed he ever saw.
Big or small, when problems come along, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
The perfect pair of glasses is a lot closer than you think. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs is now accepting new patients 5 and up. The Eyesight accepts all VSP vision plans for full contact lens and glasses, as well as Medicare, Davis, and more. Designer frames from Maui Gyms, Oakley, and so much more. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs offers complete eye care, including pre- and post-cataract and LASIK, as well as glaucoma testing. The perfect pair is waiting for you at the Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, or Hobbs. Clearly the best in sight.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia, or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the District Attorney's Office, of course, I was going to say the dog lady, the DA dog lady, Jeannie Yeager. And, of course, lead investigator Justin Dominguez as well. Good morning. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Good. Yes, joking aside, but yes, that's Gina's, that's what you're known as now, the dog lady, the DA dog lady. Of course, and you know what, I forgot to introduce when Beaumont is here as well. Bobo, he's kind of on the floor, resting between feet right now. So.
Yes, he is here.
Excellent. So I guess, people are like, maybe let's go ahead and tell folks a little bit about what the DA Dog program. This is an awesome program that really started right out of this judicial district here, and it's hopefully growing into be a mainstay in district attorney's offices across the country at some point.
We are trying. I mean, we're very, very lucky with the leadership we have.
Mm-hmm.
Diana's very gung ho. Go for it. Let's keep these dogs going. She knows they're a great asset for our office. This is our second generation. The program started in 2014.
Okay.
With Janetta Hicks, and then it just carried on. Luckily, because we figured out that Santa Fe was not going to help pay for food, vet care, and stuff like that.
No funding from the state.
No. We got a step ahead and figured out that we needed a nonprofit to keep this program going.
And that's exactly what you did.
And I did. Yes, we did. We got some handlers that are like, let's do this. We'll help. The other district attorney's offices in the state of New Mexico get the grants for the first dog, and then realize, okay, now that we have this dog, how stuff can get paid for.
Sure.
They get a one-time program and they don't do it again. There's been, unfortunately, a couple of DA's offices that have had to stop their program.
Because the funding ran dry.
Which is awful for victims and witnesses, because it's a great program.
Well, I'd almost think it might even be worse to start it and then stop it than to not have it at all.
Yeah,
almost,
it's this program is really amazing, and the people in our community know that we have the dogs, and so it's kind of like, oh, the dogs. We don't care about anybody else, but they want the dogs, which is great. Great.
You know what? I get it, because I like dogs more than people sometimes. I ain't gonna block.
It's true.
So for folks not familiar, the DA Dog program is really, this is to help victims. So when the district attorney's office needs to say interview, gather information, things like that, and they're dealing with people, especially if it's a family, domestic violence, but it's in all cases, and anytime they're trying to get evidence from a victim or a witness here, the dogs create normalcy in the room, because generally these are tense moments. Depending on the nature of the crimes we're talking about here, it could be very traumatizing and things like that. And so, especially when there's kids involved or young people, the dogs create normalcy. They create love in the room. So when people that are maybe under a little bit of emotional duress, but we need their story. We need them to talk.
They're excellent icebreakers.
Yeah,
they're like, hi guys, we're here, we love you. I mean, everybody else in the room, they're just like standoffish too, but the dogs, for the most part, are greeters.
Yeah, the dogs don't judge. They're everybody's friends.
They love everybody. They're like you said, they don't judge. They don't care.
They're the love beacon in the room.
You can tell them anything, and it's not going to get repeated.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
we're getting great success.
Yes.
Getting victims to open up, to actually, give their side, so actual justice is getting served. We can prosecute these people because we're getting good testimonies, we're getting good evidence, and it makes guys like Justin's job a whole lot easier when they can do those.
So the state of New Mexico really sucks when it comes to children testifying. They make them get on the stand in front of the accused that have done stuff to them.
And that's not intimidating at all, is
Not
it?
at all. I mean, in some cases, video is done, but not very often. Most of the time, they want them in the room. They want that intimidation.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can pick apart on a video, so they tended to lean away from that.
So they bring these little guys in, and so they're in this really big box in this really big room with all these people staring at them.
Very intimidating.
And, you've got this big guy in a robe or a female in a robe, and then you've got all these strangers, and then you've got the person that hurt you staring at you, and all these big people asking these big questions with big words.
And let's face it, when you were kids, did it get hard to get adults to believe you? It's just when you're a kid, you're just a kid. They don't know what they're talking about. And now when you're in a room full of adults and one of them did something very bad to you, and you've got to tell people this person did bad. And that's an intimidating world. And something like Bobo coming in to just feel these folks at ease. That's the difference. That's the reassurance so they know that the judge and all the other people are on their side. They need a familiarity, and that dog provides that.
Well, luckily these dogs give them some confidence and some support, and knowing that somebody's got their back, somebody's going to be right there with them. Luckily, we've been really fortunate with our program to be able to use the dogs in the box for some adults too. Depending on the case.
Yeah. We gear it for children,
right?
But dogs do work on adults too.
Yeah. But we give certain commands to the people that are working with the dog, so they can get the dog in the box, get them settled, and then sit there and they hold the leash, and they work their magic. They just sit there and they have something in their hand, and they have somebody that's actually listening and doing something they need them to do. They have control. A lot of these people that come into our offices don't have any control. We're saying, we need you to do this. The person that hurt them is telling them, you will do this. They get the dog and they tell the dog to do something, and it's kind of like, oh, I can actually have somebody listen to me, and they start standing stronger, and they get that confidence, and it builds.
Sense. Yeah, you're right. Yes. Absolutely. And so that's why this program is so important, because A, it's humane, and it's bringing love into an unloving situation, but it's also allowing justice to be served. It's allowing the prosecutors, the investigators, to get the information they need so that these people that are doing wrongdoing can actually serve the time that they're supposed to for these things.
We get the truth.
Yeah, and that's what this does. And to be honest, I'm going to guess too that there's some victims that we're going to go down some dark places, and maybe these dogs put them on the path to recovery, if that makes sense, where they brought them out of their dark place to where, because that's you're dealing with, especially depending on the nature of this abuse or whatever was going on, sometimes it takes a lot to walk back from that. A lot of therapy, a lot of road to recovery. And sometimes a dog in the room rubbing up on your leg and just loving on you is crack some of that armor a little bit to do that.
And each one of our dogs has a different personality. Like Beaumont is very laid back. He will lay at your feet. He will just kind of let you use him as a pillow.
Sure. He's got the body for it.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the big head.
He's the squishy.
He's built for pillow.
Yes. We have Kiki, who is like, hey guys, I love you. I'm here. She's got that big bubbly personality.
And your 4 dogs, I know at least most of them are labs, but
they're all labs.
And generally labs that's just their nature. They're family dogs. They're that's their temperament is very, just generally experience. Labs are just those dogs that feel like they're, like sometimes like a lab's in your lap, and I was like, I think this thing's read my soul.
Yes. Well, and these guys, where we get them from Santa Fe Assistance Dogs of the West, they're bred specific for this type of work.
Gotcha.
Beaumont is dual purpose. He's crisis response and courtroom work.
So he can handle a couple.
He can handle.
Tasks.
He can handle one person, and he can handle a room full.
Okay.
We have dogs that we take out for crisis response for small events. They don't do as well for long term,
Gotcha.
but
Well,
they can handle a room.
Dogs are just like people.
Mhm.
Each one's got a different personality, and some
Yes.
excel, and some are social, some aren't. But obviously, these dogs are all trained a certain way.
Yes.
But like you said, they all have different personalities. So some are going to be better at this, and maybe not so good at this.
Yeah.
And so that's
And Tina's a very friendly dog too. She likes to greet people and everything. Duke, is he kind of like, "Hi guys, I'm here," and he gets pretty mellow too.
Sure.
So they're all.
And I
very-
imagine age comes into play here. Like as they're younger, younger dogs, puppies, they're more energy, they're
Mm-hmm.
bouncy. As they get, 5, 6, 7, they start settling down a little bit. And like I know your dogs, like most of these are born 2018, so most of these are a little bit more adult senior dogs now.
Beaumont was always mellow though.
Okay.
He was always kind of like, "I'm here," so walk in a room, chill. But
Sure.
I mean, he gets his go-go's every once in a while,
Sure.
but he's always been chill. But
He's
the
been
other
kind of a-
guys, they're their welcoming committee, and so I mean, Beaumont welcomes people too, but not like the other guys. They're just so like,
No, Beaumont, because he did it to me just as I walked in. I was like, "Hey, buddy!" He gets up, the tail's just a wagging
Mm-hmm.
enough to where it's shifting the whole back side of the dog. That's a lab thing. They don't wag the tail; they wag the whole back half of the body.
yeah, and they all want to sit in your lap. They want to be right there on you, loving you. But
yeah, labs forget they're 100-pound dogs. And they're not lap
think they're
dogs.
little tiny things, but each one of them does amazing work. So we're really
Absolutely.
proud of our program.
Well, and that's just it. And they're in the room, and this is what's so great about it. And this is why. And like you said earlier, they're not getting state funding for this. To be honest, we should be investing tons of money into this. The mental health, the money, or the these lawsuits with the opioids and all. I know there's certain caveats. I feel like money should be, I don't know how that earmarks, but this should be invested in this stuff. This is exactly what this is for, mental health, and this is exactly what these dogs are. It's part of mental health, but it's also allowing victims to be heard. It's allowing cases to get justice, to allow, granted, New Mexico has created enough, issues. You get guy in jail, even a murder is out the next day half the time in this state. That's just the way things happen.
we have no comment on that.
I know you guys do, but you're also, I could say a little more than you can because I'm a civilian. But and so we got enough of that going on. Let's focus on the things we know are working and we know are going to do good. And quite frankly, I would argue if we invest more time and money into every single district attorney's office in this country on this thing, I'm going to say we're going to see an uptick in cases that are getting convicted, people serving real time. Dare I say, maybe even a deterrent in less people doing crime because more people are getting thrown in jail and being prosecuted.
We're hoping that's working. I know that that the United States has a lot of DAs that are doing this program, and they get the grants and stuff. The grants are hard to come by. You got to know how to do that. and
Well,
all that
I
stuff.
imagine too, it's anything in government's glacial, and unless you've got 37 doctors and everybody's saying this is for, people are going to be like, well, is this really a good program, or are we just wasting money? And I'm telling you, there's been, like you said, there's 10, 15 years of results right here in Roswell.
Yes, yes.
Take that times 1,000 around the country.
And we get loaned out, like I've said before. We've always gotten loaned out to other DA's offices that need the program, and they've heard about it and they've heard the success, and so they want to see it. So we get loaned out, which is great because then they see what it does, and then they
Absolutely.
put their wheels in motion.
Yeah, that's why you'll see the dogs at the library from when they do the story time, because dogs are celebrities. That's what they are now. They walk into the room. They're the center of attention.
Yes.
That's how it works, and as it should be. But and that's just it. They make appearances like like celebrities. They go make appearances and do their thing and bring joy to kids in different rooms and things like that.
And they're doing peer support for our coworkers. Some law enforcement, their peer support for wherever we needed. Because when we have bad cases and stuff, not only do our victims absorb all of that, but the people that work the cases absorb that. So sometimes they need the dog just to decompress.
Absolutely. So can I borrow Bo for a bit?
Yeah.
Because I need to take it to the park or something.
The dogs do a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we don't get out there a lot. I mean,
well, if you're a pet owner, think about your own life. How many times you had a bad day at work or a bad day, and you come home and your dog or cat or whatever is there in your lap, and Next thing you know, your problem. That's what they do.
Yes.
And they're doing that in these courtrooms, in these chambers as they're interviewing these folks and stuff. This is what they do, and it works every time.
Yes.
There is no, it always works. The dogs come in the room and things de-escalate. That's just what happens.
I mean, and we think that certain people need the dog, and when they walk in the room, they find the person that needs the dog. And I've learned over the years to let the dog decide who needs him or her. And
dogs are way more intuitive than human beings are.
The person that we're thinking that they need to gravitate to is not the person they go to. So It's been interesting to watch.
Well, and that's just it. We're learning more with it's like I see videos all the time, or like people that are having maybe a diabetic episode or something, and the dog senses it before it happens and gets them the medicine and stuff. There's something, and this is what they're doing. It's same thing. I don't know the science behind it, but I'm sure the same, instincts that alert them, that kind of stuff, are the same instincts that are saying, hey, I'm sensing problems. And cats are the same way. I always hear cats will, they can tell when someone's sick, and they're doing, animals are amazing like that. And why not?
Right.
Tap into that ability here. Where humans' best friend are dogs. Let's let them do the abilities that we can't, and let them enhance this kind of stuff.
And I don't think I could do my job without a dog anymore. I mean, I've had a dog since 2014.
I bet you like there's days where you're like, this is gonna be it, but at least I got a dog. I mean, because it kind of makes your job better. Like all the time, you got a cool dog hanging out with you.
Most of the time, every once in a while, I'm like, okay, somebody please come get this dog.
Beaumont's like
dog
your family
today.
dog, right? Like Beaumont's with you 24/7.
He's with me 24/7.
Like when he goes home at night to punch out, he's going to your house.
Yeah. And there's days where he's like, I can't do Gina today, so somebody else please come get me because she's a lot.
Y'all had I've had too much of her today.
Just like being a married couple. Sure, it's like, okay, you need to go somewhere else for the day.
Sure.
So.
Well, I'm curious, like is Beaumont at home different than Beaumont on the job? Like, does he act different?
He's very cuddly with me at home.
Sure.
But every once in a while, he'll get, like I said, really rambunctious, and he's been known to knock over recliners. I know.
Well,
he's a shock because he doesn't move very much.
Grace is not a word I would use
and
to describe Beaumont.
He's just a big boy, and he hits something, and it's just like, but he'll get the zoomies, and he'll rearrange mattresses, and he'll jump up on the bed and slide, and then.
And he's what, about 6? Something like that? 6 or 8? Oh, no, he was 2016. That's right there.
Yeah.
So 8, yeah.
So he's like...
He's middle-aged. He's still got another...
He's got a lot of miles on him.
Yeah.
He's worked a lot. This guy's worked a lot.
Yeah.
So,
What's, and this is something else I want to, while we're talking dogs here, just to give people perspective. Cost-wise, to find a dog like Beaumont, to put Beaumont through the training, and to put Beaumont in the field, what average cost on average? What is that per dog? What's that a cost?
So to get a dog like Beaumont, the dog itself, fully trained, is almost $13,000.
See, this is what we're talking about. And so we have 4 dogs.
4 dogs.
That's almost $100,000 worth of, if you want to put it in those kind of terms, worth of property walking around.
So to get a program started for kennel and food and equipment and everything you need for your home and your office, it's up to $50,000.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And luckily, with our communities that we have, we've been fortunate enough to be able to do that.
Yeah, and this is why we ask you, the public, to get out. There's you guys are constantly doing. You have your golf tournament, various other fundraisers. That's why we want to put these on your radar, because when you participate in that, you're supporting this. You're helping victims in Chavez County and around southeast New Mexico. It's way bigger than Chavez County.
Yes, we have a big area.
Yes, but you are helping people in your backyard, and you're finding resolution for people. And that's, let's just face it, these dogs bring love and life to people that's worlds have come shattered.
Yes,
and that's what's going on here. And they're coming in and trying to pick up the pieces. To get the evidence to prosecute. But at the same time, this is part of rebuilding that foundation, rebuilding those connections, making sure this human being that's been a victim can reconnect with life again. And that dog plays a very big role in that.
And they become lifelong friends to the dogs. When we have the couple events that are coming up, we have the fair. And the fair is one of my favorite ones. We have our booth out there.
Yeah.
And that's more of us kind of
because the dogs come out from time to time. You can hang and meet and
greet. People always are like, so tell me about so a lot of people still don't know about the dogs, which shocks me because, I constantly feel like I'm constantly telling everybody, the dogs.
I know how you feel because I've literally said things 100 times. What's this thing? I was like, I just said it 2 seconds ago.
And then we have people that are like, oh my God, I remember this dog. He came to the school, or he was at the library, or, he helped me. And I'm like, it makes my heart realize what we're doing. Because
we get to see the impact that these programs doing on this.
And it reminds you that you are helping make a difference with these guys, and that it's not going unnoticed. So It's amazing. But we do that, and that's always fun to hear that those words come back that are
proof
great.
in the pudding.
Yes.
Proof it. Because let's face it, every single person in your office has those days where you feel like you're spinning your wheels and are you getting anything done. It's just the nature of the district attorney's office.
Yes.
Because you see the best in humanity and the worst in humanity all at the same time at your day-to-day job. That's just the nature of what you guys do. And so anytime we can bring that love and beauty back into these people's world, and at the same time, it's such a big deal. This is something as simple as loving on a dog and letting you hug on a dog's neck for a few minutes, and just, you don't understand how that can fix things or give people the courage, strength, and desire to take the next step and make their life better again.
We have a lot of behind the scenes people, which is the peer support that I was talking about. We have the assistants, and we have the investigators, and we have the advocates, that the attorneys are the ones that are, of course, that are out there, and, their names are the ones that are brought out. But there's so many people behind the scenes that are doing this work and have all that stuff built up. So the dogs are helping our offices as well.
I was about to say, I imagine there's days where Justin or some of the DAs are like, I'm having a day. And then they go in there and hang out with Beaumont for 5 minutes. Like, all right, we're good. Let's go do this. I'm sure just there's a day you've been trying to hunt a piece of information or someone down or just have an issue, and you walk into her office or something, and there's the dog, and you're sitting there just petting. And
Justin gets to work with Duke, so Duke's got a big personality.
Oh, so you're a Duke boy. All right. no judging. They're all good here. They're all
they're good. They're good.
I've said it before, and I'll say it every time I get the opportunity. Our victims advocates and our individuals that take on the role as handlers for the canine program are some of the single most important people that we have in this judicial district out of the entire district-wide. I
imagine there's things where you hit dead ends in your investigations, and those dogs open those doors for you.
I think talking about the program and how it's important to, that people reach into their pockets and help fund this this nonprofit. There's a lot of ways to donate, and there's a lot of ways to look at helping people, and I'm not saying don't donate to those groups, but this is a way that can directly impact
absolutely
where you live, where you stay,
this is all grassroots.
And where you see. Really this is an opportunity to see this. To see where your donations are having a direct impact on your community.
Absolutely.
That's why, nonprofits like these are so very important.
And God forbid you ever come at a point in your life where maybe those dogs might come and make your day a lot better too. I hope to God it never does, but if it does happen, they're going to be there. And it's thanks to people like you that support the program.
So as a matter of fact, next week I go for my second interview for a successor dog.
Okay.
Which will be my third dog.
Okay. What's generally the service period for a dog? It's about 6-8 years, or what's about?
It'll depend.
Health of the dog, obviously.
The health of the dog, the work of the dog. Like Beaumont's going to still work, but he's not going to do as much of the hardcore stuff.
He's going to go a little more part-time.
He's going to be doing more greeter and more like, I'm not going to have to go in the courtroom, but I'm going to be there to see you and talk to you.
Beaumont's had some promotions. He's earned he can now sit back and let the youngins do some of the heavy lifting.
So he gets to be the greeter and just like the love bug that everybody. I'm just going to be there.
I walk in the room and you say, "Come love me."
Yeah. So I figure Beaumont's been working. We got him, I want to say in 2017. That doesn't sound right. I think it's been before that, maybe 2017.
Okay.
In December, the week of Aztec shooting, we got him. I got him. I was training with him, and we got called out.
Okay.
So, and he's been called out. We've been called out since then. So he's done a lot of traveling and a lot of crisis response and then courtroom work. And
so Beaumont's good to ride in cars and stuff.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, he just sleeps. He does he's
he's not exactly he's pretty even keeled. Like there could be all kinds of excitement. That dog would probably just be like, man, that's crazy. Just look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got that
Yeah.
personality. It's like when there's the big storm going on, he's the calm in the storm.
Like, whatever. Why are y'all stressed out? It's not a big deal.
Absolutely.
But this new dog, luckily, Leprino gave us a grant for some of the money, and then the prices went up. So we're still raising funds for raising funds for the extra on this dog.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like you gave me the cards here a while back, and that's something. If you ever get these, look at them because on the bottom, like you said, La Tienda. There's so many different businesses and organizations, farmers. The College Garden Animal Hospital, Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, Double J Animal Hospital, Tractor Supply, Precious Pups, let's see, Parrot Head Properties, Roswell. I mean, these are all businesses that have sponsored and supported our DA dogs. And thanks to businesses like this, we have this program.
Yeah, this program doesn't exist without all of those individuals and others, that
absolutely
others that aren't mentioned that are so gracious with their donations, and we appreciate them all. And it's imperative that they continue to help us with this program because without the community, this program does not exist.
Absolutely. So that being said, now if you want to get involved here, please, money financially. I know we got some events coming up. That's a good way to help. But maybe you want to sponsor, like you said. We got a few of our dogs are about ready to transition to a quieter life here.
Yeah, quieter life.
And so we're probably going to need some more sponsors to sponsor. Like you said, it's about $13,000 a piece for one of these dogs to cost to train, groom, get ready to do its job.
And we have some amazing, like the vets. All the vets have stepped up. La Cueva in Carlsbad. Here, Country Club Animal Hospital is now on board.
Excellent.
And then we have Double J in Hobbs. So each county has their own vet that has amazingly stepped up and helped us, which is, that's an expense. That's a big expense. And then like Tractor Supply and Roswell Livestock with the food. These guys eat. So
there's a reason there's no pet insurance, healthcare insurance, like yourself now.
Yes.
I remember my dog Sissy. I'd gotten a tumor removed and all that, and it was $1,000 to get that thing. I was like, for a dog, and
but these guys are not just dogs. They're
they're
very,
living,
very
loving members of the family. Well, that's my Sissy too, but that's why I paid $1,000.
You're going to do it.
But part of me was like, man, that's not.
But we do have a couple events coming up for fundraisers. The big one is the golf tournament.
Yes, that's kind of your tentpole main source for income right now.
That has turned in. We started it last year, so we've turned. This is going to be our big fundraiser. It's kind of like this is going to be our main focus. So we have that coming up October 19th.
Okay. So it should be nice and not hot by then.
Yes. So that's going to be our big one. We have some sponsors that are on board right now, and we're still looking for sponsors and players.
So it would be best just to maybe call the DA's office if you'd like to sponsor?
Ask for Gina.
I think if you could probably go to the NMMI Pro Shop if you want to play and sign up a team or individually, you can go right there. But if you want to be a sponsor, might be best to contact Gina directly here at the DA's office.
You can reach out there. We have the Facebook page for the dogs.
Yeah.
So if you guys reach out through that.
And I'm sure during the tournament, the dogs
will be there.
Make appearances.
They will be there,
weather permitting, of course,
for pictures with the teams. And I'm hoping. I think Tina's going to be here, and I'm hoping Duke will come down so we can get all 4 dogs together for pictures.
The whole team together.
The whole team together.
Maybe we can get them in like superhero outfits.
Oh, that would be
Justice
cool.
League, the 4 of them together. Put them in there, Superman and Batman or whatever costume.
That would be fun.
Someone get the short straw that gets Aquaman.
Right.
Sorry
Right.
But please sign up for the tournament, please. Or you guys do have Facebook and all that, and you can reach out. And if you want to make a donation, say, hey, I heard you on the radio, I love it. Here's $100, here's $1,000, whatever. All of it helps because, like you said, this is and please. I also throw this in your caveat. Every time you see your legislators, your people, now I'm sure most of the folks around here are very supportive of the program and fighting Santa Fe. It's other avenues that are hitting there. But tell your legislators, invest money into this. When they go in January to go find out who's spending all of our money and where to put it, tell them they need to earmark money for these kinds of programs. This is the stuff that fixes the problems we're having in the state.
And I want to throw this out because Southeast New Mexico, which is the 5th is Chavez, Eddy, and Lee. We have the most concentration of dogs for our district than Northern New Mexico has for each of their districts. So Diana Luce has really been the backbone of this and saying, yes, do this. We need to keep this
she's
program.
the champion of this program.
She is, and she fights for us, and she keeps trying to get this because other attorneys' offices don't have nonprofit. They're
Sure.
trying to figure it out. So we have been talking to Santa Fe. But if we could get, our people here in Southeast New Mexico have been really supportive, but we need them to push more so that other counties in the southern part of the state can keep their dogs.
Well, I think it should be a point where they invest to where the state actually houses the program, where they have some camp or
Right.
somewhere in the state where they're raising and training these dogs. And in essence, DA's office put an order in like food and say, hey, I need a dog.
Right.
And they got one groomed and here we go. And we come down and you meet the handlers and do all that needs to be done. But I feel like the state should be that should be something we invest in is a facility that trains these dogs to where every D in the state can have 2 or 3 as needed.
I think theirs is as important as a laptop to me.
Absolutely.
I get more from my dogs than I can get from my
I can't imagine
laptop
from
sometimes.
Justin's perspective, there's probably been so many roadblocks you've hit that these dogs have put out the way or moved those roadblocks out of your way to get whatever you need to get.
It's again, I just can't say enough about the program or the handlers, and I think that's the other part of it is the handlers volunteer to. It's not an incentive. It's not a pay raise. It's not. It's a labor of love. They do it because they believe in the program also, and they see firsthand how it affects and helps our communities. So I think obviously we love the canines themselves and can't speak highly enough about them, but also the people aspect of that and the handlers and what they take on, the responsibilities they take on as a handler to care and
you just got a child to take care of, basically.
As great of a job as the canines do for our community, they can't drive there.
Nope.
They can't bathe themselves. They can't feed themselves. They can't get themselves to their appointments. So I don't think enough can be said about the program, the canines, or the handlers that volunteer their time. And I think people, they probably get a pay incentive to do this. No, they don't.
No,
they volunteer.
They do get
to take
incentive.
on.
It's the love of that dog 24/7.
Absolutely.
That's the payoff.
Absolutely.
That is the true payoff. They've got a companion.
Absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure Gina would not trade in her deal
No.
for anything in the world to hang out with Beaumont.
Sure.
Yeah. That's because and that's the thing, because I imagine for you, it's your mental health too. You have bad days just like everybody else, and I bet Beaumont's your cure sometimes. And there's a day where you and Beaumont are in the living room just hugging it out or whatever, and just, you know what I mean?
So for most, if we're not in quarter, if we're not running around, he's usually right under my desk by my feet. So I have my feet rubbing on him. So I know he's there, and he knows that I know that he's there. So it's constant. We're constantly touching each other.
Yeah.
It's like,
but I imagine that's your motivation. That's your drive too. There's days where you're like, oh, and then there's Beaumont to spur you on there.
Yeah. He really helps me continue to do what I do.
And that's probably what you get out of it. And like you said, these people don't get extra pay, and it's a lot of response because now you've incorporated your job into your whole life because that dog
doesn't stop at 5.
Yeah, exactly. That dog still needs to eat, still needs to live, still needs to be taken care of. And guess what? That's you. You're its parent. You're its mommy and daddy when it's not at the office punched in.
And when they're not feeling good, you're like, okay, I've got to take care of this dog.
Sure.
So I got to do. But the
you're
dog,
the first line of defense
it's like,
there.
okay, here we go.
You know that dog better than anyone.
Yeah.
You know the personality. You know when the dog's having a bad day or ate something it didn't like. You can tell real quick.
We have some amazing handlers that, like I said, most of them are victim advocates, but we have some other people in our office that are handlers as well to help out. And it's all volunteer, like Justin said. We don't get paid more. It's kind of like, oh, you will do this, and you will.
But I imagine that
it
the
pays
dog
off
lovers
in the
love
long run.
Yeah.
It pays off in the long run.
I don't know. I'm kind of like, I'd love to. You get a dog all the time, and dogs are amazing.
But it's interesting, and they make you like you were talking about the potty breaks and stuff. It makes you stop and be like, okay, I've got to step away from my desk.
That's a good point too, because if it's just you abuse yourself.
Yeah.
And now you can't. When you got a dog here, it's like, I got to stop.
I got to stop. I've got to take care of things.
So you're probably a healthier person.
He's my reminder to take a breath.
Absolutely. So please reach out, support, and you know what? Especially if there's folks, I imagine there's families that probably have already seen the amazing works of these dogs and maybe have their own personal experiences. Please know that. Share, obviously not the details of your case, but please share with people that impact that those dogs had on your life and how it positively gave you resolution in a very bad situation. Share that, but please support financially if you come out to the fair here. I know that's in October, but it's not that far away.
No.
Make sure you visit the commercial building and hit up our the DA dog booth and come meet the dogs. Hopefully you're on a day where they're there and you can support that way, and then sign up for the golf tournament.
again, come call the DA's office or go to the NMMI Pro Shop and get signed
no
up
amount
here.
is too little. That's another thing we hear is well, I don't have $100 to give, but even if you have $5, if 10 people give $5, that's $50. You know what I mean?
Every
And so,
cent counts.
Well,
towards
$5
the
will
program.
buy a toy.
Yeah.
And they like their toys.
Absolutely. It brings a
no
little bit of
amount
joy.
is too small.
No.
Absolutely, and it's many hands. This is until we can finally get our legislators and people to open up the books to put actual government funding into this. This is how we're going to have it done. And to be honest, we can make it better if we get it. It's sometimes when it's just people doing it, you can get big results, and sometimes the red tape of government bureaucracy can kind of hamstring things a little bit here. And now that being said, we want the funding. We want that.
Yeah.
But you might be able to move a little faster right now because of the situation.
And
here.
luckily, that's the one thing too is we don't have the government telling us, well, you can't buy this. With the foundation, whatever the dogs or the handlers need, we can go get without any question.
Without a courtroom.
Well, we need a piece of paper to
Yeah.
explain why you're doing this. I don't have to explain.
Yeah.
My handlers asked me for this for their dog or themselves, and it's like they need it, they're going to get it.
Yeah.
And we just want to make sure that our handlers are taken care of for their needs as much as our dogs.
Well, because without the handlers, there's no program.
Correct.
And without the dogs, there's no program.
And I'm like I said, when I say take care of our handlers, it's like supplies like treats for the dogs and a bag for the dogs. It's
In case
not
you haven't
like they're
priced raising
asking-
an animal,
yeah.
a dog, it's very expensive for food, especially the dogs we're talking about. And let's face it, Bo and these dogs, they're not little foo-foo 20-pound dogs. These are big 70, 80, 100-pound dogs. And 70, 80, 100-pound dogs
Snoring right now.
like to eat.
Yes. And I forgot to tell you that we're going to be at the Convention Center for the Fall-A-Day Art Fair.
Oh, good.
We were selected as a nonprofit for the silent
cool.
auction, so you guys come out to that too.
Yeah.
We'll have probably Beaumont and Kiki there to see, and we'll have some stuff for you guys to bid on
Since
there.
it's a holiday fair, you got to put some elf ears or something.
I'm going to have to do something. So we'll have to
Maybe
do something fall for him.
Maybe some antlers. They
Antlers,
could be, something. Red nose, something like that.
He'd like that.
But definitely, and please come and come support this stuff. Come read about it. Come look information online here. Call the DA's office. Come by if you want to learn more. But please, this program is one of those things that we can make our judicial system better in the state of New Mexico. And this is one thing that you, the individual, can directly get involved into to make our state a better thing. It's all, and it's come support. Come see. And who knows? Maybe you can volunteer. Maybe you love dogs and thinking, maybe this is my thing. This sounds like something I'd like to do. Talk to Gina. Maybe that's a possibility.
And we want to thank everybody that has supported us since 2014. We've had some amazing people, lots of support. So we don't take that for granted. Please don't ever think that.
Absolutely,
We're really grateful for everyone that has supported us. But like I said, we're on third generation, and we want to keep this going for as long as we can. So.
This is something that it should keep going and should be just like a well-oiled machine. When Bobo here is about ready to ride off in the sunset, we got another.
Gina's ready to ride off in the sunset.
Yeah. We got another young dog ready to fill the void there.
Yes.
And so that's where we got to get to. And so we need your help. So please come whack a ball around with us here in October. Come see us at the fair. Come support us financially. And I hope that the only time you ever have to meet these dogs is in fun scenarios and fun rooms and fun like that. But know that if you do get in those scenarios, these dogs will come through for you. That's
We
what
will
they
be there.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you for
We
having
got
us.
87 things to do, so we'll let you go knock those out. So,
Thank you.
All right. Justice can resume. We're out in the street. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right. It is 8:56. Let's pause to pay some play some commercials to pay for my lunch. Then we'll be back.
Data. Both are due out this week. Wall Street's mania over artificial intelligence has vaulted NVIDIA's market value to above $3 trillion. China's industrial profits jumped 4.1% in July compared to the previous year, with overall profits for the first 7 months increasing 3.6%. It's bringing hopes to the market amid sluggish domestic demand, a housing downturn, and employment worries. China is accusing Canada of protectionism after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government imposed a 100% tariff on imports of Chinese-made electric vehicles. The move matches U.S. duties on those EVs. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Over the next several weeks, we want to give you 5 key elements to a great marriage. This is taken from an article by Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The first one is ownership, taking responsibility for the good as well as the bad.
1 Corinthians 11:31 says, "Judge yourself so you won't be judged." It's talking about the judgment of God, but it also applies to our relationships, especially the ones that are closest to us, like marriage. If you'll just take responsibility for your own actions, it's so much easier for our spouses not to have to point out and criticize us.
So we have to take responsibility for our actions and our reactions, our attitudes and our mistakes. You know, most people would learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them.
You aren't responsible for what your spouse does. You are responsible for doing your part. So just decide today to do your part and take ownership.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia, or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
Attention Goddard Rocket fans! When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge starts after the finish line. When victory alone isn't enough, raise your bar, keep dreaming, and go beyond the limits that you thought possible. The new 2024 Honda Ridgeline Passport and Pilot, part of the Roswell Honda Rugged Trail Sport lineup. Roswell Honda, proud supporter of all Goddard High School sports.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND